Hey guys, welcome back to another Weird Wednesday. I'm Ashers, and this is,
Pedo.
and also,
Cassie.
oh my gosh, just Cassie. You're like Adam. We had Adam on. He was just Adam. You're the
Nobody's
share
gonna say
duo.
my last name anyways, so why use it?
I was actually hoping you would so that I could figure out how to pronounce it. It's like Asher's
Marizon.
maiden name is like drippingly Italian. It's
It's
like,
Marizon.
oh, that's not too
You
bad.
say Marizon? That's how you
Yeah.
say it.
Yes.
That's that's a lot cooler than mine. Anyway, jealous. I thought my maiden name was cool, but oh well. I'll continue to not. It's meatball is what it is according to Pato. Um,
Okay.
very Italian. Anyway, Pato, how was your weekend?
It was good. My wife was in Boston with one of her friends, so it was just me and the kids. And I got just I had my daughter this weekend, so it was just us for the past 5 days. Um, and it was nice. You know, it was Father's Day, and I didn't get anything really because kids are kind of fucking useless like that. But we had a good time. We went to a softball game. I grilled yesterday. My mom came over, took the kids to the pool today. My daughter had a I said softball game, and we've been watching Vanderpump Rules every night before bed. And yeah, just spending time with my children.
Well,
You know,
that's important. I mean, that's what Father's Day is about.
yeah, I guess I earned the title. It was good. But yeah, nothing sexy, nothing cool. Playing video games here and there, Diablo 4, and
Hey, being a good dad is very sexy and very cool. Just saying.
thank you, thank you. So yeah, it was good. So I grilled yesterday, gave everyone the shits because I made the mistake of upgrade. Well, I had a propane grill and it crapped out on us, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a charcoal grill because they're so much cheaper and it's so much easier. And it had been decades since I had a charcoal grill. Well, there's a reason why. I do not have the temperament nor the skill set to be a charcoal grill person. I'm gonna have to side with Hank Hill on this one and keep it strictly propane because I gave everyone food poisoning yesterday.
Jesus.
Whoops. Other thing I want to talk about is I started writing for the Tennessee Horror News website run by a friend of the show, Jim Jam. And he had approached me just a couple days ago and was like, hey, would you be interested in contributing to this website? And I said, sure. And I cranked out something real quick for Father's Day, uh, which once again was this weekend, but talking about the 2011 Trauma movie, Father's Day.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and Astron 6 and getting a little bit in. Well, I stayed far away from the drama between Astron 6 and Trauma, but um, yeah, I did that. And it looks like the next thing I'm going to be working on is the Dogman Triangle movie, which that popped up, and I was like, oh, I'll take that. So look forward to that probably sometime this week. The Dogman Triangle, Werewolves in the Lone Star State, featuring your friend and mine, Aaron Dees. So
Very nice. I watched
that's
that this weekend.
how was it? Was it good?
It was good. Yeah. I mean, of course it was going to be good. Of course. And of course,
Right.
even if it was a piece of shit, I'm still going to say it was good. I understand this. I have a bias to everybody that was in it. So,
Oh, I even told him my whole goal, like, so when I used to write for Daily Grindhouse and Bloody Disgusting, I got the advanced screening of that Glenn Danzig movie, Veronica. And it was a good movie and I liked it, but when I wrote that review, I purposely like stacked the review so that it had a bunch of like quotes that you could pull off it. And we ended up in not only the trailer but the back of the fucking Blu-ray box. So if you buy
yeah.
that movie and you look at the back, it says Pat O'Sullivan, Daily Grindhouse, blah blah blah. So that is definitely my goal for the Dogman Triangle, Werewolves in the Lone Star State review. Which I've not seen a single frame of this movie, but like I'm gonna give it a fucking bad review. Like get out of here. And I plan on praising um, Aaron Dees' investigative genius. He is the paranormal Truman Capote for our generation. And I have a note file on my phone right now where I'm writing quotes that they can pull off it before even having seen the movie. So that's ethics and journalism right there.
I
agree
mean,
with that because I told Aaron, I said, I don't even care. Like, I might even watch it, but the review's going to be people that are 100 plus years old and don't even remember Texas as a state. They're going to like Texas Dogman Triangle.
yeah. I mean, well, okay. So I will reel it back in again. Like I said, yes, I have a bias. Okay, I do. I'm not gonna take any credit at all whatsoever. But I got to contribute just a teeny tiny bit to this book that he wrote, and I have been kind of behind the scenes of watching him do it, and not just behind the scenes of watching him do it. Just my God, I remember Aaron D's fangirling because he got to come up on the clubhouse room with all of us. Aaron Dees is like my child, except he adopted me, so I don't know how that works. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I've watched him grow into being able to do his dream, and so it means a little bit more to me than it is going to be for people that are just Dogman fans, right? But if you're just a Dogman fan, just know that this person has put so much blood, sweat, and tears into this research, into the book, into the documentary itself that the book is based off of. 100% genuine person, and you absolutely should be supporting not just him, but the entire Small Town Monsters crew, because they're like that. That's how they are. I'm sure they all have their own Aaron D's, story. But, anyway, just as a Dogman documentary, it is still very interesting to, again, listen to these people share their encounters and listen to how, I really like how they brought on a researcher. I like that they base it off of a researcher's book, because it really shows how that process plays out and how, hey, Aaron, how'd you get started in this? What happened? And it tells that tale of him kind of unraveling this mystery, which is something that is a little bit different than what they typically do with these documentaries. And of course, they knocked it out of the park. It's great. Watch it.
How long is it? How long is it?
It's like a little over an hour. I think it's like an hour and 14 minutes.
Oh, see, 5 stars already. You get me in and out under 90 minutes. You're expert cinema. That's my way to do it. Good job.
So I was a Kickstarter this year, so I'm waiting on my hardcover copy of the book and like the actual DVD to come out before I even like click on the digital one, because I'd rather have my DVD.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I watched the digital copy just to kind of, I like to do that to be able to hype it up on the show before it even comes out, so people will go out and watch it. But I'm with you. I didn't, I saw Aaron at Monster Fest. I could have bought his book there, but I'm a Kickstarter backer, so I got the hardcover.
Right.
So I'm gonna wait
that
for it.
mashup with Aaron's face and Dogman, so I just I made him sign his face. I was like, Aaron, will you please sign your face?
I know. I'm like, you have to sign this. I'm like, whatever. I'll see you. We'll see each other again sometime. Especially now that he's doing stuff with them and they're all local to here. I mean, he'll be here. So I just figured whatever. I haven't read the book. I don't know what's exactly is used. But I just know that, we've spent some time talking about some of this stuff. When what was that place called? The Amarillo Zoo photo came out. Remember that photo of the alleged dog man? Well, I was on top of it. I didn't know Aaron was working on this book. I didn't know he was into it. And, I really worked.
No one did then.
What's that? No, yeah, nobody did. It was
then.
Brand. I don't even think he knew yet. No, he was working on it. I didn't know. But man, I was on top of like this photo where it came from. I was trying to backtrack the history. I was actually joining Facebook groups to try to find where that photo came from. And then that's when he's like, hey, by the way, I'm working on this Dogman book. What did you find out about this photo? And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. So then we kind of started talking about it. And I was so excited when I found out he was writing a book, because he reads all the books. So I was interested to hear him, see him write one. So, and he did. So also buy the Texas Dogman Triangle book. That's out now. And then the documentary itself comes out. Does anybody know? The 27th, I think.
Yeah, it's somewhere soon. It's within like the next week or two.
Wait, the Dogman Triangle documentary?
Yeah, the documentary.
But didn't you say you just watched it?
We're Kickstarters. We got it early.
Yeah, we're Kickstarter backers. So it's available to us.
Oh, yeah, I get a screener link that's being sent to me. So I just thought it was available on Amazon. I don't know.
No. Yeah, it's not out yet.
Okay.
So it comes out soon. I think it's the 27th. It doesn't matter. Just keep your eyes peeled for it. Check it out. When it is available, and follow Small Town Monsters and Aaron D's. So I did that. That was my weekend. That's what I did. Pretty much. Cassie, how was your weekend? What'd you do?
It was pretty good. We went to Columbus Thursday, Friday, and Saturday because my son had a baseball tournament. So he played 4 games, and we were there all weekend.
Oh, those are always fun.
Did some shopping in between.
All you baseball people, my kid's like in a room fucking eating Cheetos, playing video games.
And it is June 27th, it says.
Yeah.
June 27th. That's what I thought. It's 27th. No, actually, my kid has been getting into fishing lately. Like, she's really into fishing right now.
All my kids love fishing. That's what we're doing when we're home.
Yeah, she had never gone before, and so she went, and she's only gone twice just because the weather's been kind of shitty. But she's caught fish both times.
Does she take them off by herself?
No. No, she doesn't put the worm on the hook. She doesn't take them off. She's, but whatever. She really enjoys it. I was surprised. I didn't think that she would like it at all, but no, she really likes it. So now the new thing is to like find all the fishing spots and go fishing. That's,
Fish Finder. Get the Fish Finder app.
That's real?
Yeah, it's real. You can put in your area and it'll give you the closest fishing spots and like what people have caught that day and what to use. And
oh, that's very cool. Yeah,
we not a fish dating app. It's you just go find fish.
Not for you to date the fish. Okay, right. Wow. Thanks for.
I don't know. That might be a zoophile thing. My kid just told me about that.
That's okay. We talked about. I recorded a lot this weekend, and on one of them, I believe it was on the public one. We talked about Mr. Hands, which is the guy that got fucked to death by the horse. So there's that. That's a thing you all know now. Don't Google it. There is a video of it.
I will not Google that.
Yeah, there is a video of it. You can watch. He makes a terrible noise, and he dies. So it's anyway.
Wow.
We gotta get away from talking about animal fucking on the show. I swear to God. I don't really have any news this weekend. I just wanted to plug away some of the things that I have been recording. As you guys know, I've been very open to making guest appearances, and I'm gonna try to do things a little bit differently than how I've been doing them. So I'm gonna open up my time to schedule shows. And then I'm going to close it on July 1st. And I'm probably not going to open it back up again until December. Because I am working on boundaries. And I have a tendency to say yes to everything. And if I say yes to everything, then it means that I don't get anything that I need to done. So I've been scheduling a bunch of shows. This week I did 3 of them. I was on the Billy D's podcast, which is out now, where we talked about a lot about UAPs and kind of talked about the whistleblower and the UAP disclosure and, stuff like that, just kind of shooting the shit. Nothing you haven't heard me talk about before, but go check it out. And then I was back on the Bloody Bits Horror Show. We talked about The Ritual. They are currently they do like themed months, and this month is about folk horror, and so we talked about The Ritual. And then they also have a special Patreon series that you can listen to called Hunting for Strange, where they break down ghost hunting shows and, basically riff on them. We covered a fantastic show called Ghosts in the Hood. And I hate ghost hunting shows, but I'm going to watch this entire season because it's so fucking ridiculous. It's like Pimp My Ride, but for ghost hunting. It's so ridiculous.
There's a whole season?
There's like 7 episodes, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to look that one up too.
You have to watch. It's on Hulu right now. You watch it. Ghosts in the Hood. It's fucking fantastic. I mean, if you just want to just absolutely watch something that's completely ridiculous and not real at all, and have a good laugh, that's it. Fuck ghost hunters. Watch Ghosts in the Hood.
See, that's what I'll watch tonight, because Mondays Brandon watches Antique Roadshow, and I want to strangle myself, so I will watch Ghost in the Hood. So.
You got one room is Antique Roadshow. You got next room is Ghost in the Hood. What a variety. Check it out. Yeah, we did. We covered episode 2. So if but go ahead, watch episode 1. They're only like a half an hour long. They're good. They're not good, but they're entertaining. So that's what I've been working on. Pato, did you have any news to share?
No, I wanted to give a shout out to one of our past guests that's gone on to do great and wonderful things. Taylor, aka Wisconsin, who we had on the show last year. She runs a TikTok where she talks about paranormal stuff in the Midwest, mostly Wisconsin. She's from Wisconsin, hence the name Wisconsin. And old girl's blowing up. She's doing Facebook ads now, which is kind of incredible. And she's a spokesperson for Milwaukee Summerfest. So, yeah, we had her on the show. She was a great guest, and she's into cryptids. She's into paranormal stuff. She's into local folklore, and just had an interest on it and started doing it. She's also very photogenic, and blew up on Twitter. We had her on. She blew up even further, and now she's doing ads. And I just happened across it on Facebook this week, and thought I would take a moment and give her a thumbs up. Good job, kid. Very proud of her.
Very cool.
And also go to Tennessee Horror News from every device that you have, and click on all of my articles.
All of them, yeah.
And reload the page repeatedly. When you're like doom scrolling, or you're waiting for an elevator at work or something, and you pull out your phone to fidget, just keep reloading that Father's Day article. So it gets hit after hit after hit after hit after hit.
Well, and you should be doing that with the show, right? When you're not using your device, just pull the show up. And
you want a cool trick to do at parties? Ask someone to borrow their cell phone, and then go to their podcast app and subscribe them to our show.
Yes.
It works. It works.
It works. Yeah.
Yes,
and they have they're like, how did I subscribe? What is this? And then they think it's magic. So
that is grassroots guerrilla marketing. We are community organizers. If there's one thing I've learned from Obama growing up in Chicago, is how to galvanize a community and start from the grassroots and work our way up. So there you go.
Perfect.
Steal cell phones and subscribe to our podcast.
Do you know how, like, when you're on your Bluetooth in your car and you can hear it, like somebody's Bluetooth outside the car, from like a long distance away? So like I go up to get my kids every Wednesday, and I pick them up from school. So I have to sit in line for like 45 minutes to wait on them, because their school's huge and the line's like down 3 streets if I'm at the end. So like I get there 45 minutes early, and I have all my windows rolled down, my car's in park, and your show's just blasting on my Bluetooth. So I know like at least the next 10, 15 cars hear everything that you guys are saying.
I hope it piques their interest. They're like, I gotta listen to that show.
I mean, nobody said anything bad to me yet, so I'm assuming they're okay with it.
So hold on. I'm gonna put this in my notes real quick. So at what point in the show is this normally happening? So you get in your car. Let's walk through this. You're getting in your car. You're going to pick up your kids. You hit play on the show. How long does it take you to get to school?
Okay, so I usually do weekly spooks first. So that's usually 40 minutes long, 35, 40 minutes long. And then I turn your guys's on. So there's still like it takes me an hour and 45 minutes to get to my kids.
Holy shit.
So it's like halfway in the show when I get there. So you're done with like your weekends and sometimes the news, or it's like the end of the news, and then like into the story goes. Whatever you guys are talking about that week.
Okay, so what we have to start doing is, between the news and the topic, do another segment, which we'll call Cassie's Car Line.
Okay.
But you've got to like the end of August, because school's out now, so you have time.
That's all right. We'll work on it. We'll come up with a bumper music or something. We'll make sure that, especially the first day of school, the first week of school, we'll come up with something good. I'm not forgetting about this.
It'll be the most raunchy, unheard of shit.
This is when we're going to read. This is when we're going to read the dinosaur erotica.
Yes.
We'll wait until the first. We're going to find out where the fuck you live, Cassie, and we're going to look at the school district that's an hour and 45 minutes away. We're going to do all this shit. Trust me, Asher's knows how to stalk people online, and we're gonna figure out when the first week of school is, and that is going to be the week that, at that time, we're going to time it perfectly,
She's invited me to her house, so it's not going to be hard to figure it out.
Just play the video and talk about the guy that got fucked to death by the horse.
every Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'll play the sound of him dying.
How did he die?
What do you mean? How did he die? He got fucked to death by a horse. It perforated his colon. It's a horse cock.
Okay. That's what I mean. Like it was from like physically from being jabbed. Like it broke it. Okay. All right.
His name's Mr. Hands. Google it. Just don't look up the video, but you can it's easy to find. Mr. Hands.
Yeah. I don't know how you think you'd survive something like that.
He did it very regularly. It was like a thing that he did. He would get fucked by this horse and take videos of it and put it online.
And then one time the horse just went in a little bit further.
Yeah, I guess it hit him at the wrong angle. Yeah, sure.
Was it a different horse? Was it like a black horse?
That's a
wow. That's that's synchronicity right there, Ashers.
That is synchronicity right there.
Because our pre-show talk skated around that same ice rink.
It did.
And it's real funny that you would go there. That's synchronicity. It's gonna be a good show.
It may have been a black horse. I don't know. I didn't sit around and watch all of Mr. Hand's videos. It's just one of those internet things that about. We should cover more internet mysteries. People love that stuff. We could do a whole episode on Mr. Hands. People would eat it up. It's weird.
I'd be down for that.
As weird as it sounds, our most listened to episode is the Red Rooms and the Snuff Films episode. Those are mostly made up of internet mysteries. Is like where that falls into, And people love it. So
it's because
anyway,
everything revolves around the internet now.
There's just so much shit out there. I mean, there's so much crazy shit that you can find. It's pretty. I want to get actually Eddie the Axe from Bloody Bits on to do internet mysteries, or talk about some at least. He's expressed interest. But anyway, yeah, there's so much. People love it, and these are like hot button topics, and they're clickbaity stuff. People want to hear about Mr. Hands over and over again. And apparently there's people that have never heard of it, because it sounds like neither of you have ever heard of it. When we did it on the Bloody Bits, we were talking about it. I think Candace had never heard of it. So people need educated about Mr. Hands. Anyway, so we've been getting guests back on the show recently.
Wait, and I have news if you guys want some news.
Oh, okay.
Oh sure, yeah, definitely.
I know how this show works.
Don't let me. Oh, that's true. Don't let me bulldoze your news. Share your news, please.
Okay, so I guess this happened last night. The Titanic submarine went missing.
I saw that. Yeah.
So it's a submersible craft goes missing with 5 people on board, sparking a major search and rescue operation. Tour firm Ocean Gate charges $250,000 a seat expeditions to the wreck. It's 12,500 feet under the water. It's truck sized. It's called the Titan. It holds a 4-day supply of oxygen. And one of the people that were on it was a British billionaire explorer, Hamish Harding. He's the chairman of Action Aviation. So I guess that happened last night sometime.
Wow, I haven't heard about this. So
yeah.
You take people on a submarine down and you get to see the wreckage of the Titanic. It's like a touristy thing.
Yeah, for $250,000.
Oh, wow, that's cheap. I'm just kidding.
I've seen the movie. I know what it looked like.
Right, I know. I'm good. There's a fucking Lego model kit you can get. If you really are curious about the details.
I went to the one in Gatlinburg and saw it with my kid.
The replica type, yeah. I mean, it's and it's not covered in a bunch of barnacles and stuff. No, that's pretty crazy. So what do they do now? Do they send other people down there to try to find it?
It says that the government is really into finding these people, because all of them are pretty much have to be millionaires, billionaires.
Yeah.
So they're going to probably do whatever they have to, but they only have 4 days of oxygen, so I don't really know.
That is nuts to me. I mean, because I saw that in the news today, and I didn't read the article, but I saw the headline or something on Twitter, and I was like, well, those people are fucked. That's what they get for going down there. But what's even more, and they might be dead, but what's even more interesting is the idea that they could very well be alive. And it says that they're coordinating with the U.S. Navy and Canadian Armed Forces because that's kind of, it's the North Atlantic Ocean, right? So it's in that general area. The idea that they might be rescued and those people are down there just fucking chilling right now, like at the bottom of the ocean.
I
Well,
mean,
you
I don't
gotta
think they're
think
chilling.
if you have 4 days of oxygen and you're like lost in the bottom of the ocean, their oxygen's probably gone from all like the panic attacks and
Yeah.
everything else going around.
So if they're not found within like the next 24 hours, by the time you guys actually hear this episode, they're dead. But it's true.
They tried.
It's true. Or, maybe they're found between now and then and hey, good for them. I'm curious as to how this plays out. Because yeah, that'd be fucking horrifying. I mean, what happened? Just how do they know they're missing? Were they supposed to come back or they just lost transmission?
They lost contact with them approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes into the vessel's dive. So yeah, they were going down and then communication shut off. So here's another thing. What if, so you look at that area, right? It's kind of between Europe and the US. Did it run into a Russian sub or something? Not that I'm trying to start. Not that on Wednesdays we talk weird. We're not trying to start an international incident by fucking, blaming Russia for this. But something happened. It could be mechanical failure, sure, right? Could be wildlife. Maybe those fucking orcas. Megalodon, sure.
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking. Megalodon or the Kraken.
Or the orcas are capsizing yachts left and right. Maybe it ran into a fucking stealth submarine from the Russians or something. Who knows what happened to it?
The way that it was written in the article, it sounds like they have more than one of those like submarines that can go down. So why? They can send another one down.
Right? Why wouldn't they send another one down
with Jason Statham in it? And then
right, figure it out. Fuck, they got to be down there. Can't they? Don't they have fucking drones they can send down there? And how they explore the Titanic to begin with?
You would think so.
Little fucking cameras. Just stick them down there. What are they waiting on?
I don't know how the ocean works. Is there a current that far down, like an hour and 45 minutes? Like, is it gonna be in the same place, or is it gonna go a lot farther than what we think it is?
Oh, it would. Yeah, you're right. It could drift a little bit, and the thing is, there's no light down there. So, like, if something could be 100 feet in the other direction, and you wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. No, I'm fucking guessing at this point.
I was saying that the drones or whatever have lights on them. I agree. Maybe there is some drift. So, like, I learned this because of SpongeBob. Okay, so I, as a 32-year-old woman in less than 2 weeks, I am a big SpongeBob fan, and I was very curious about the beach that they have, right, Goo Lagoon. How the fuck do they have a beach underwater? But actually, there is like these like pockets of like, it's kind of like trying to mix oil and water. It's like a different kind of water that doesn't quite mix with the ocean water. And you can get like, you could potentially get swept up in those, but you would think that they would be like aware of those and maybe not sending people down there in a submarine. But then again, they're rich people and they probably think that, they could probably just offer the current money to get out of it. I don't know.
And they're going to explore something that was unsinkable and was sunk by an iceberg on its first trip. So,
yeah. That's just bad. You know what? Let's just, physics and science and nature being horrifying aside, that's just bad juju, man. Like, there's like that fucking ship's cursed. Like, don't like fuck with it. Leave it alone.
I would never get in one of those fucking things.
No, I would never get in a submarine. Period. Ever.
I'm not going in the ocean.
Right, exactly. I'm just not. It's not gonna happen. Cassie knows. That's how we know Cassie actually listens to the show.
We're going to Florida Friday, and I hate the beach. I absolutely hate the beach.
Why do you guys always go to the beach for vacation?
Because
go to the mountains.
Brandon's whole family goes, so it's like one person against 10.
No, listen. Next year, or next vacation, you guys go yearly. Is it like an annual thing?
Yeah.
I think next vacation, you get all the kids together. You convince everybody that the mountains are the way to go.
See, we were gonna go to the mountains this year, and I was so excited. I'm like, yes, it's my year. And then, yeah, that we couldn't find anything that everyone agreed on because half the family like didn't want to just go get a cabin and relax. They wanted to go see every freaking thing around the area we were going. And we didn't want to do that because we're like, we're on vacation. We don't want to drive the whole time. So yeah, it's just I guess they decided on Destin, Florida. We're going to the
Well, just
beach.
don't go in the water. You'll be all
Oh,
right.
I won't. I never go in the water. That's
I
horrible.
mean, I'm like convinced that even if I'm standing on the shore, the Bermuda Triangle is gonna fucking just come up on the shore and get me, fucking
Or
drag me
tsunami.
in.
We went to the beach with our like friends a couple times. Like our family went with their family. Every year, like the same little redheaded kid got stung by a jellyfish and he was in horrible pain. I don't want that. Like I don't
That's
care.
me. Yeah, it was me. That was.
Oh,
It was a boy, but it is 2023. I don't know how
It's still
everything
me.
worked
Yeah.
out for you.
See, if I were a boy, I would have been born a natural redhead. It's just the way it works. It's just me in an alternate universe. But did you pee on him? Did anybody pee on him?
His brother did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, at least he got peed on at the beach. You know,
I don't know if that's real.
that's also me. Anyway, yeah, the ocean's fucking scary. I also would not go on the submarine to go. I mean, the Titanic, I guess, is interesting. That's like soft. That's like vanilla mystery right there, right? That's like one of the very first things you kind of hear about when you're a weird kid is the Titanic, right? Or maybe it was just me because I'm a '90s kid and that movie came out and it was a big fucking deal for a long time. But anyway, it was. I don't know. Hopefully they're found. I don't wish it. Well, they're a bunch of billionaires, but I can't. As a fellow human, I gotta say, hopefully they're found. Um,
Yeah.
and they can answer, what the fuck happened. So that's really interesting.
But
That's
I want to know what happened.
right.
Like
How the fuck?
somebody please be found or at least find the craft. Like
I mean, the submarine just stopped working. It's like, fuck you. And then, like, if the submarine's malfunctioning, then how do we know that other parts of the submarine are actually working? How are they not getting crushed under the pressure? If they fell far enough down, right? There's like
oh yeah,
places that you
we
can't reach in a
absolutely
sub.
don't know.
Right. We don't know anything. And that's frustrating. I hope that we do. But, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't ever find that sub again
Mhm.
because that's what happens and it sucks.
yeah, it's a shitty, slow way to die. That's not the way I plan on going out.
No, that's horrible.
No, I can 100% tell you I will not go out that way because I do not like the water.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not going to make it, I do kind of hope that they get crushed by the pressure just because that's quicker than dying of lack of oxygen and not as bad. I'd rather die that way, I guess.
Right. Quicker.
I'd
Yeah.
I'd rather not die at all in the fucking ocean, which is why I won't go. But that's what I would hope. So I don't know, or maybe listen, you guys, maybe they'll have a lot of time to sit there and really think about their lives, and then they're going to be found, and then they're going to be new people, and they're going to be like, hey, that one show talked about us on Wednesdays. We talk weird, and that girl said that she hopes that we live. So we're all gonna give her all of our money. That'd be great. That's that's my wish. At minimum, I'll take 100,000, please. That'd be fine.
Oh yeah.
So it's not a lot, right? But I'm humble, right? I don't need a lot. 100,000. That's
Just enough to buy groceries for the week. We're good.
I can get 4 dozen eggs. Exactly. So, anyways, wow, that's some good news. Did you have any other news? Was that it?
Yeah. Did you hear about the woman who like in Ecuador that was at her funeral and then woke up in her coffin?
I did hear about this. I thought about bringing it up, but then I got lazy on my notes. But yeah, I think I feel like we've talked about this on the show before, or we've probably covered these instances. But yeah, an Ecuadorian woman was dead, right? She went to the hospital.
Yeah,
Her son
she
took her to the
was declared
hospital.
dead by a doctor.
They thought she had a stroke. They couldn't resuscitate her. They said, oh, she's dead. And so when they were having the viewing, she starts pounding on the fucking coffin. And she's alive. And she's alive right now. So a lot of these
No,
stories.
no. This was the second part. She tragically passed away after 7 days in intensive care from a
Oh
ischemic
no.
stroke. She had a condition called catalepsy, which can cause seizures, loss of consciousness, and rigidness in the body.
Well, that sucks because I thought she was still alive. Well, see, I'm not updated. Did she ever wake up? Does anybody like
Yeah,
consciously?
she woke. She was awake for the 7 days, but she was not in good condition.
Yeah.
Um, I guess in Ecuador it said they don't do autopsies. So the first time she was declared dead by this doctor, and 4 hours later they were having the wake.
Yeah. And some places they'll take them home. And some of the cases, like the one that sticks out the most to me is the little 4-year-old boy that woke up and asked for water and died again.
Mm.
You know, they were at the child's body was at the house and they were having like the wake at the house. So different cultures will kind of do that. And, you know, like you said, some of them just don't do autopsies at all. And so I don't know if they took her home. I don't know if that's where they did it. But yeah, she woke up. That's sad she died again. That sucks.
Yeah, but okay, so I asked my boss about this today. I actually told him the story. He knew about it already. But he was a firefighter in Akron, and he said it happens all the time. Like they'll get calls to the nursing home because someone passed away, and there'll be people there doing CPR and trying to resuscitate them. And when the EMTs come in, they can't resuscitate them, so they call the coroner with the time of death, and then they're on their way back because I guess if you pass away in a nursing home, the nursing home, it's responsibility to just take care of the person, like to take care of the body.
Oh, okay.
So the EMTs leave, and they say like an hour later, they get a call back and say, "Hey, this person's alive, breathing," and then they have to go back and check because they did everything they could. The person was dead, but he said like they really don't live longer than a day or two after that because your body's naturally died, and then for some reason you got a spurt of energy and you came right back. But
It's weird. I mean, in most, and that's what I was saying. Most of these cases, the people die anyway. You know, and it's kind of a mystery, but that's why I remember the little boy so much because he woke up and actually spoke and was like, "Hey, I'm thirsty," and then died again. I mean, how fucking traumatic is that? First of all, you're dealing with your kid dying. Second of all, your kid fucking came back as a zombie and asked for water and then died again. I mean, I it's a wild thing that happens. Rarely do people come back and they continue to live very long. Um, you know, but they do come back. Sometimes they come back, and I hope that happens to me. I hope that I come back again and I say something really dumb. I don't know what.
I hope it
I'm not
happens
sure.
to me after the autopsy. Like,
Yes. It happens after the cremation. All of a sudden, your fucking
right.
ashes form back together. And you're like, I'm back. And then you just disappear in a plume of dust. Nobody would believe anybody that told that story. They'd be like, that didn't happen. But it's recorded here on this show. Are you getting cremated? Do you know? Have you decided?
I no, no, burning scares me too much.
No? Okay, well then. Someone's got to take one for the team and get the cremation done, so this can happen.
I'll
Anyway,
tell my
Pato, any
dad. He
thoughts
told
on
me he
the
wanted to be cremated. I'll tell him to come back.
yes, tell him to come back, reform his ashes. That's going to be his last. He needs to use every bit of afterlife energy that he's got to pull this off.
Yeah, they stopped cremating the Irish a couple decades ago. It takes too long to put out the fire.
So you're getting buried too? Wow.
No, I'm getting cremated. Actually,
Oh, okay.
that's that was always my mom's stance, and you know, and talking it over with my wife, I think my wife, being fiscally conservative, agreed that that's probably just the best way to go. Because I mean, if you're one of those people that takes time to visit grave sites, God bless you. You know, I think that's a wonderful thing that you take
Sure.
time to remember the dead like that. But and maybe it's just my family are selfish, and absorbed motherfuckers, but like we don't do that. And to take the time and money and all that to bury someone underground and then leave them there and never visit them, I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. At least if you cremate them, you put them in a jar and they're on your mantle or, you know, something like that. They're at least in the house with you. It seems more practical, I think. I don't know. But whatever. Teach their own. That's totally fine.
Yeah, it's a very personal decision for everybody
Yeah.
to make. That's but it's something that, hey, if you haven't decided yet, listeners, you got to sit down and decide on that, because you just never know. Sit down and make your plans, and have
Right.
that ready to go, so that way your family doesn't have to worry about shit when you die, except for the fact that they're grieving. So give them that final gift, and plan your burial and or burning, whichever.
I was watching Weird Addictions the other day, and this lady carried around her husband's ashes with her, and like she ate his ashes. She
I
said
al-
she was running low.
I already knew what you were gonna say, because I've seen that.
Yeah,
And it is fucking insane. That is like, isn't that like some form of cannibalism?
codependent cannibalism. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess it's sweet,
That's sweet. Well, I mean, I was gonna say, Pat, you were like, oh, you're sitting in a jar, and somebody's, but like then that person dies, and then what the fuck? Like people have like urns and ashes and shit. They like drop them off all the time at like Goodwills and stuff.
Mhm.
I would want I think I would want the majority of my ashes spread somewhere, and then if anybody wants to keep a couple bumps of me, a couple patio rails, they can put it in some kind of I don't know, like the corner of like a Ziploc bag, just twisted up and knotted, and then they can just put that in their underwear drawer. Fucking
Like necklaces and rings now out of them.
yeah.
You can make some really interesting stuff. I'm just gonna say, if I haven't decided yet, but if I get cremated and somebody decides that they're going to eat me afterwards, put me in something spicy so I can tear that ass up one more time. That's that's my dream.
Ugh.
That's where I'm going with that. I don't know. Pato, do you have anything to say about the dead people coming back to life?
No.
Aim for the head, every time.
Right.
Every time. Well, that's really neat. Anyway,
I got one more short one, and it'll piggyback off that one because dead people.
oh, okay,
coming back
all
to
right,
life.
sure.
Okay, have you heard of xylazine?
No.
Okay, so you know how, I don't know, like was it a decade ago or something, we had that crocodile that was eating people
Oh yeah.
from the okay. So I guess now there's something like that's spiraling out of control called xylazine, which it's a horse tranquilizer that they're mixing in with the fentanyl now. So all these
What?
overdoses have been going crazy, but they can't stop them because there's nothing to bring them out of the xylazine high. And xylazine eats your flesh away like very quickly, and it just leaves open holes in your body. So I also asked my boss about this if he's seen it, and he said it's ridiculous. Like he said, people that are on xylazine, like they are zombies. Like they're ridiculous, and like half their body's gone.
They're just running around with their bodies disappear. So
Well,
how
no, like
fast? How
literal
quickly does that
zombies.
start?
Like it's
Like,
like he said they're like literal zombies. Like they'll be in the middle of the street, like not moving, like statues, but like all their flesh will be off their arm, or like there'll be a giant holes in their legs, and
what the fuck,
yeah.
man?
Did we ever do a bath salts episode?
No. And I think we talking about the Miami guy, but we didn't. But we did cover it just a little bit on the Florida episode.
I was explaining to my kids this weekend. I forget where we were, but we were standing in line, and either I saw something online or someone said something about gas station weed, and I was explaining to my kids about the whole K2 thing that happened a couple years ago, where they were trying to sell gas station weed, and how it was like making people lose their fucking
Oh
minds.
yeah, I remember K2. It was terrible.
Yeah, and it this reminds me of that. For some reason. So now that makes me want to do the bath salts episode again.
Well, you can't buy it over the counter. You can't just go to the gas station and buy it. It sounds like, it's horse tranquilizer. So just do Special K. What the fuck, you guys? Like they already have that, and like, it's not great, but it's not gonna like eat your it's not gonna eat your flesh away.
I don't know about
Reminds
you guys.
me-
Know
Okay, sorry, go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't know about you guys in Ohio, but in Illinois, innovative ketamine is like a huge. I actually just got an email from them today. It's where they give people ketamine treatments,
Yeah,
and I have a friend of mine that did them, and she said that they were really great and they were really therapeutic for her. She's dealt with a lot of trauma in her past, and I had called them up and was like, "Yo, how do I get the ketamine?" And they were like, "Well, you got to come to us. We do an IV, but you have to come like 3 days a week." And it was like it didn't work logistically. Like I would have to get there, and then it's like they drug you basically, and I would like need a ride home because they don't want you to drive afterwards. And the part of the city that it was in is nowhere near where I live, so that like it would just be hard to get to and from my appointments. And the appointments were very regular too, because they give you like huge dosages and then they kind of wean you back. And they're followed with therapy sessions and stuff too. So like I was all about that. I was like, yeah, let me do some fucking ketamine. It wasn't in the cards, but I don't know.
If they
How
give
do we
you
get?
like that big of doses and that many a week, are you gonna get like, is this like an addiction that's gonna come and then they're gonna take you off of it and you're gonna be like, shit?
you're gonna
Well,
be an addict forever. Yeah.
yeah, I think what they're trying to do is it's kind of like imagine like MDMA therapy with a therapist, right? Imagine
Mhm.
like, taking acid or some kind of psychoactive experience, but having a counselor there with you to work through things.
I don't
Which
know if
is
I'd like that or
interesting.
not.
You what?
I don't know if I'd like that or not.
Yeah, me neither. I don't, because I could see it would really depend on your relationship with the person. Like, I could see how that could work. I
Hmm.
don't know if I necessarily want to pay for it and then find out, you know, because it could definitely not work. And now you're, you know, yeah, I could see it could go south. It could go south really easily. Um, but yeah,
That's
it's
like, I
not.
mean, a lot of the drugs that I've done, to self medicate, eventually you come down and you feel fucking great for like a solid month. And then you come down off of it and it's worse. Like your depression is worse than before. And it's like because you know how good you could feel and you can't feel like that all the time. So I think that the danger in some of those things is definitely not being able to sustain those treatments any longer.
Oh yeah, they say you're borrowing happiness from tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
That's what
says
it.
people that have taken the xylazine says it just leaves you with a sense of hopelessness after taking it.
Because you
Oh,
feel so good, right? Because you feel so good, you're like, "Oh fuck." Well, I don't know. I've never taken it, but I'm
Right.
sure. I've done ketamine, so I know what that's like.
it's
Well, my
fucking dark.
theory on this is so it started coming around in 2020. So that's the right there in the pandemic. It's just like veterinarians and people working at the clinic trying to make extra money and experimenting with shit and they're just selling it to drug dealers and now we have this concoction that's making us into zombies.
Killing people.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
especially leaving the holes in the skin like that's scary. You know what I
Why would
mean?
you even do? I don't like. I never understood people that did the crocodile. Like, why would you do that? Like, once you start taking it, you're fucked.
Well, so with this, it's just they're not telling like it's drug addicts. They're not telling them it's in there. So like if you have a
Oh,
drug
I
dealer
see.
and he puts it like cuts his drugs with it, I mean, then you have a huge hole in your leg. You know where it came from. Like, but it's not like they're going
Well,
to dealers and being like, "Hey, I want that xylazine." No, it's cut into your fentanyl.
yeah.
So it's
Well,
pretty much what fentanyl was in the beginning to heroin. You didn't know it was cut in there, and now they have xylazine cut into fentanyl.
Jesus. Drug dealing gets complicated, man. I don't recommend it as a career choice.
No.
Like, why not just sell the drugs that you're marketing? Wouldn't that make you a better salesman to actually sell exactly what you're telling people that you're going to sell? I don't know. It's just me. You'd be like, hey, I'm a drug dealer and I have no overdoses under my belt for the past 25 years. You should buy your drugs from me.
See, that's
You know?
legit. People should have did that.
That's what I'm saying, right? You'd be like, nobody's ever died by taking my drugs, and then everybody's like, oh shit, it's you just up your prices just a little bit, right? But you got something, you're selling something, right? You're selling safety. I don't know. It's almost like maybe we should decriminalize drugs and sell them under some type of controlled way in order to protect people that are addicts. But what do I know? I don't know. I
I
don't know
mean,
nothing
that's
about
they
nothing.
have the methadone clinics and stuff, but then people just get addicted to that. So
Right. Yes. It just makes it worse. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're always going to have you're going to have drug addicts. It's just the way it is. It's just a matter of how we can go about, protecting them as people. They're still people,
oh
I
yeah,
mean, my
you don't
God.
gotta tell me. I know.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're still fucking people. Let's maybe treat them like people sometimes. It's okay if we do that. I don't know. But anyway, um, wow, that is another interesting story. Is that it? Is that all you got? Those three?
Oh yeah, we're good now.
They're all very good stories. So let me tell you how this came about. So like I said, and as you guys know, you guys pick the guests. We don't really, except for every once in a great while. But for the most part, the listeners pick the guests, and people had nominated for Cassie to come on because, well, everybody knows who you are,
That's so
and
strange to me. Why?
it, it is always weird. It's like, what, you know me? That's weird. You get
You don't
freaked
know
out.
me.
Yeah, you don't know me. You just think you know me. But yeah, everybody knows who you are. I think that you don't. Have you ever? You've been on shows before, haven't you?
Yeah,
Bigfoot
I was
Society.
Oh
Bigfoot
yeah.
Society. I did the Strange Conversations with Aaron, Fireside Chat with Jordan, and I was on Tracing Owls like 11 times.
That's the unofficial co-host of
No,
Tracing Elves.
we did our he did one interview with me that was like an hour and a half long, and then we went back and did our mini series on the Furious Creatures of Curiosity, and we made up the
Oh
10
yeah. Oh
cryptids.
yeah. I remember. I remember seeing them. Yeah, they were. That was a lot of fun. But the big push to get you on here was going to happen, but it was because Pat had brought up the Amish on the show recently,
Yeah.
and Cassie happens to be an Amish expert.
An opinionated Amish expert.
Very opinionated Amish expert. And so now this is all kind of turned into this is kind of going to be an interview slash let's talk about why the Amish are bad people. Right. So it should be very fun. So Cassie, why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself, tell people what you do, all that good stuff.
I'm Cassie Marizon, and the last few years I started drawing and making pretty much everything with mixed media out of like cryptids and paranormal stuff. And I go around to these events, and then I just comment and talk to all these people like Ashers and Pat on Instagram, and that's how I live my life.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. No, Cassie makes some fun stuff. She's made a couple of things for the show, which is always fucking fantastic. She's made a couple of things for other people's stuff, and it's always great. You're like I mean, not you have original pieces. Don't get me wrong, but you're like the I don't want to say a fan fiction artist, but you're like the fan art artist like of the entire community.
Oh yeah.
And I love that. I love that you take these like pieces of other people's media and like you turn it into like a visual art piece that you could see. So that's really cool because I don't think anybody really does that. I mean, people do it, right? People make you fan art and stuff for your shows, but they do it for their favorites and this that, and you do it for everybody. I love it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And I get ideas like original ideas that come, but like I don't put all of them down on like paper because I'm so afraid that it's somebody else's and I saw it somewhere that I'm just gonna be like, oh well, they did this. I'm like, oh shit.
No. But you do have a lot. I mean, gosh, you've always got like mass stuff to sell.
And I don't even know how because I don't really have that much time.
I don't know how you do it either.
Kids and I work and
Like we did the bend over demon joke, and like within 24 hours, Cassie's like, "Bam, here's a picture." I'm like, Jesus.
That was too funny not to. When
So
you said that, I was like, "Oh, Pat."
fucking walked right into it. Um, my daughter. So when I came home and I was showing her all my stuff from I show her all my stuff I get, you know.
Mhm.
But from Monster Fest, I showed her that picture. She fucking loves that picture. She thinks it's hilarious. So she's a big fan now. Um, but yeah,
She
it's all
loved the
really
little Nightmare Before Christmas ornament too.
loved it. She was so it's her favorite. She's so excited about it. And that's what I told her when I showed her the picture. I was like, she made a wreath and that ornament. She was like, "Oh." She's like not involved in my world at all. She's not interested in any of this stuff. But she loves your stuff. So
Good. I like that.
yeah, it's I don't know how much you like influencing children, but she's here for it.
Well, I got lots of them, so I'm good at it.
That's true. You don't you have like 20 or something? You guys have a farm of kids or something?
6.
Close enough.
My
That's
little
closer to
Amish
10 than
country, I
0.
wanted to fit
So
in, okay?
start picking up kids off the street like, fuck it. We've already got 6. What's
Right.
2 more, 3 more?
Oh, I gotta tell you this story real fast.
Okay.
So, Mike, we were at the baseball tournament, and I had my other kid. Well, they're twins, so they're both 13-year-old boys, and they're completely different. So, me, Brandon, and John, we're in. Okay. So every Wednesday when I go, I take him to Chick-fil-A. John's like a little Christian boy, carries his Bible around everywhere with him, like knows everything, but he knows the story behind Chick-fil-A. Have you ever heard the song Deep Throat by Cupcake?
No.
Okay, so he always syncs his phone to Bluetooth in my car, and he'll roll down the windows and he'll blast this song in the Chick-fil-A parking lot. And it's like, hump me, fuck me, daddy gonna make me choke. And he sings it. He knows every word to it. So we had Brandon with us, and we were in the Chick-fil-A parking lot, and he just blasts this song. And I've never seen a 45-year-old man laugh so hard in my life. Like, I know it's like horrible to being a parent, but no, he's funny.
It's horrible being a parent. Well,
I
we
didn't
get it,
introduce him
Cassie.
to the song. He introduced me to it, so it's not my fault.
That's the best part about it. It's not even your fault. It's someone else. You're like, oh, good. There's someone equally as bad as I am. Um, that's fantastic. I saw people that I knew at Chick-fil-A one time, and we just rolled out the windows and started yelling cocksucker at them. That was cool. So be as unhinged as you can be at Chick-fil-A. That's my advice. That's
When I worked in the hotels, I had a general manager who was homosexual, and he didn't lie about it, but he just, he never talked about it. He was obviously he was a gay man. We all knew he was gay. He never admitted to being gay because we never questioned him on it. It was just it was the elephant in the room, right? And one day we had a department head meeting, and he shows up with Chick-fil-A, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "What? I got lunch." I'm like, "You can't eat Chick-fil-A." And he got real nervous. He's like, "Well, what? Why not?"
oh, no.
I wanted to be like, uh, "Cuz."
You traitor.
I don't think that's a little. Those are your people, But he got so nervous, as if I was gonna like openly call him a homo, which I didn't. I mean, I'm not fucking stupid. Like, you're at work, But I thought that was really interesting that, that man put his personal politics aside for those chicken sandwiches. That's how good those chicken sandwiches are. Is that he was like, they straight up hate my people, but you know what? Goddamn, they know how to make a good chicken sandwich.
Gotta get
He
that
was
Jesus
doing
chicken.
his duty in taking that homophobic chicken patty off the streets.
That's a great way to look.
Yeah, you got to do something. I mean, my God, it sucks. So many people, so many things, so many companies are so fucking disappointing. It's like, but at the end of the day, like, somebody had brought this up to me when I was on social media bitching about Jeepers Creepers, right? Because the director of it is a total fucking creep, and he is a creep.
Right.
And I can't personally bring myself to watch those films just knowing that the guy's tied to them. But that's a personal battle that I took up. But people pointed out, well, look, yes, he's the director of that movie, but like, what about all the people that worked on the movie? And they're right, so like, what about all the people that work at Chick-fil-A? I mean, they work there, they need jobs, right? They have families that are probably gay. That's just what I imagine. Everybody that works there is actually gay.
No, you know what? I applaud you for making that statement, because I am going through something right now where a project that I worked very long and hard on is basically getting thrown out, because one of the people that worked on that project with me has fallen out of favor with pop culture.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter that the rest of us worked on this thing. It's all getting shelved. It's
Right.
all getting thrown out because of one fucking thing. And I won't even get into all that, but it's like, yeah, I think you got to look at the bigger picture sometimes. And you're right. There's a lot of good people that do work at Chick-fil-A that provide for their families and stuff, and that's fine. It's like when people get upset about the Bud Light thing, you know. I don't know. I mean, uh, is it that big of a deal? Like, look, either you're the kind of person that drinks Bud Light or you don't anyway. I mean, I drink Bud Light.
And then
But,
they're like, I'm gonna go drink something else, and then the brand that they named does the same shit that Bud Light
yeah,
does.
it's like Miller Lite. Like, what are you going to switch from? I mean, the two are interchangeable,
Right, who
or you
cares?
don't drink at all, or you drink Heineken, and this whole thing's above you anyway.
I mean, that one's a little bit different because like supporting trans people isn't the same thing as like molesting children. You know what I mean? So like the company in question at that they're not bad for doing that. Whereas like I said, when you're talking about, I don't even know that fucking guy's name. Like, he is a bad person. Like, he is directly a terrible fucking person. I'm not saying like you should go out and support these people wholeheartedly, but just make sure that while you are, carrying your pitchfork to try to take down and make a point at those people, remember the other people that are also affected by this. Don't stop supporting those people just because one of the bunch is an asshole. That's my soapbox. I'll get off of it now. How about that?
You guys are gonna make me like choose my words very like wisely during talking about the Amish now.
No, fuck the Amish. They're terrible people.
Race the
They-
whole community, and it's really just one asshole.
Listen, they know what they're doing. They're all guilty of it. Fuck them.
Well, did you know that progressive Mennonite churches allow LGBTQ members to worship as church members and
but
get
that's
married?
Mennonite. They're not Amish.
Well, Mennonite is like the higher up the ladder, and then Amish are a subdivision of that. But I'll take a step back into the shadows real quick.
No, you're sorry.
They're definitely different.
Like, I
people.
can definitely tell you that's a Mennonite, that's an Amish. Like,
Just you just tell by the way they conduct themselves.
well, you can tell by the way they dress.
Oh, well, fair enough. So let's start there. Cassie, why do you know so much about Amish people, first of all?
Well, when me and Brandon got together, he couldn't move because they own Millersburg Tire. So he couldn't move the whole business to him, so I had to move here, and now I'm here in an Amish country with all the Amish.
Where did you come from? Where were you living before?
Elyria, Lorain
Oh, okay.
County.
Oh, so you're still Ohio.
Oh yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. I didn't
I was just in like the streets to like,
Sure.
what is this?
To Amish
What
country.
are these conservative people doing? Their pants are pulled all the way up.
I'm not familiar with this. Okay. So you just happen to live in an area that it is predominant. Well, it's not predominantly Amish. It's just the Amish live there.
Well, it's Amish country, so it's probably predominantly Amish.
It's very predominantly Irish or Amish rather. Okay. Well, Pato, why are you interested in the Amish people?
Yeah, so my wife grew up in Amish country. She rode the school bus with Amish kids. Her first boyfriend was an Amish boy. Whenever I would go out to visit my in-laws, not whenever, but there would sometimes be functions at her dad's barn. Her dad was a farmer, and there would Amish people would be around. They were like a thing. it was like something that you would have to contend with. Like they don't really have no, I'm not going to say that. It's just part of the sociological landscape of the area where my wife grew up. And I kind of would notice it, like when we would I would go home with her when we were dating, and we would go to like the mire to get stuff, and there would be like a horse tie off thing in the parking lot, and she'd be like, "Oh, that's for their buggies." Because when they ride their buggies into town, like that's where they tie the horse up, and I'd be like, "Really?" And she just would tell me things, and I'm an inquisitive person, so I would like to listen and just ask her questions. And I mean, outside of that, I think the only thing growing up in Chicago that I had been exposed to or knew about Amish was the Weird Al Yankovic video, Amish Paradise. Like we never, there's none around here. I had zero exposure to it, and through her, I kind of toe dipped into that world. And then, we've been together about 10 years by now. Well, no, we have 14 years. So, I mean, there's been repeated exposure and things along the way, but I just always kind of found it fascinating. And when I went through like my heart stuff last year, and I didn't know if I was going to be on disability or if I was going to be able to go back to work or what the deal was. One of the things that we had talked about was if we were to move back to Fort Wayne, and the cost of living is a lot cheaper out there. I would have been on disability, so I would have had money coming in, but it's like, not a ton, just passive income. And she's like, well, you could always get a job working for the Amish, driving them around, because a lot of them have like Escalades and shit, but they're not really supposed to drive them. So they hire just local people to do that for them, or kind of do their electricity stuff for them after sundown on the weekends, or however that shit works. Because we live in such a technologically advanced society that it's very hard for them to maintain their values. And a lot of people would argue that they don't really, that it's all bullshit at this point. And that I think it differs from like sect to sect. Yeah, but the community out by her, they all have cars, they all have cell phones. They're when the elders come through, I think they kind of like hide everything in one of the barns, but then as soon as the coast is clear, they go back to living pretty much like normal people, except they don't pay taxes and they have all their other stuff that they do. They don't necessarily school their kids the whole way through, and all that stuff that we'll probably get to later.
Okay. So. All right. Well, I mean, take it away. This is your baby. I didn't do any research about the Amish at all, because y'all were into it. So I don't know who wants to start, but does anybody want to explain what an Amish is?
Well, let me ask Pat first, since
sure.
Since I moved into this, and then we both grew up in like cities. What was your thoughts about the Amish, like before you even knew anything about them? Like, what kind of people did you think they were?
I thought it was I didn't think it was like something that was actively happening. And I was just kind of like, wow, they're real and they're out here. Like I just thought it was some weird like folklore stuff, Mm-hmm. But then to find out that there was a community that was fairly large and thriving, that was so close to like where my wife grew up, that to me was very jaw dropping. And when I asked her about it, which I texted her. I mean, she's in Boston right now, but I texted her kind of prior to today's show, like what her impressions were. She, growing up, just kind of thought that they were poor people because of the way that they dressed and looked. But now that she's old enough, she's like, no, they actually have quite amount of assets. They're not necessarily poor. That's just how they roll. They just wear homemade clothes and have kind of long hair, and they don't wear makeup or anything. But as one kid looking at another kid on the school bus, you would think like, oh, those people don't have a lot of money or something. And also, as she got older, and through me being associated with her, one of my sister-in-law's best friends, who was actually at my wedding, she grew up Amish, and then her and her whole family left the church and were shunned. And now she lives down in Orlando. And like, I mean, can you imagine like growing up Amish in like rural Indiana on the Ohio state line, and then leaving that life and then going to fucking Orlando? Like, literally every day is Disney World for her,
right?
You know.
Yeah.
So I don't think there was, I knew that there was a little bit of like deception as to how people perceive them to what the actual workings of the community are. I knew that they're moonshiners. I know that they, they kind of have their racket where they don't have to necessarily pay taxes on a lot of stuff. That the technology thing is kind of under, is not really kept up the way they think it is. And when my father-in-law died, the kind of joke was like, watch, the Amish are going to come to the wake and try to buy the fucking land at the wake. You know what I mean? And they kind of did. Like, they showed up in one huge gang. None of the chicks were hot. Like, I like Italian hairdressers. Like, I like very well coiffed chicks, and Amish is like, they're which, hey, not everyone has to be attractive to me. I'm not saying that diminishes their worth. I'm just saying, you think there'd be like one hot one in the group, and there weren't any. And they came out, yeah, and they looked kind of rugged, and they were very weird. And I got I don't want to shit on them too bad, but yeah, they seem kind of inbred and fucking weird and
that too.
Googly-eyed. You know what I mean? Because who's coming into that, right? Which is something that we kind of talked about in the text earlier.
Yes, and I have an answer for that for you too.
Oh, okay. So hopefully I answered your question. It was more like, I'm an explorer by nature. I like finding out about new weird things, and this was just like a new weird thing that I found out about through my wife.
Well, I just wanted to know what you thought beforehand, because when I lived in the city,
I didn't.
Like,
yeah,
I just thought like what every tourist that comes here thinks, like, oh, they're the greatest people. No, no, they're not.
No,
yeah,
you're not.
We didn't have them out here. Like, there's virtually no. If I ever saw an Amish person growing up in Chicago, it was because we were on a class field trip to a fucking museum or something,
and
we saw
dressed to look like an Amish,
right?
Or there was 3 of them walking around, and the kids were on leashes by the parents.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I know that they're bad people. And it just kind of some things that I've learned about them. But the first time I'd ever realized that they were, bad people, because I really didn't think anything of them beforehand. I mean, granted, I'm in Ohio. We have lots of Amish here, but I've seen them, but I never really thought about them any. But the first time I recognized they were bad people was, when I found out that they run all of these puppy mills and, like the bad puppy mills, they're fucking horrible people that make a lot of fucking money off of, basically forcing animals to have sex and keeping them in small cages. And it's all bad. It's all bad. And then I kind of got a kick on it for a minute looking into it. Like, well, what else are the Amish dealing in? But then I got bored pretty quickly. So
yeah, it was, it says over 98% of Ohio's puppy mills are run by the Amish.
Right, exactly. Yes. I mean, they make a lot of money off of breeding animals. And I would imagine they probably do puppies because it's easy. Well, I mean, it's a lot easier than doing, but I wouldn't put it past them to breed other animals and run other, similar operations.
We have those crazy, there's like 4 of them here, those crazy exotic petting zoos and stuff, where there's zebras and all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah, we talked about that too.
When the zebra like ate the man's arm off and stuff.
It's like, what are you serious? I just remember like not a couple of years ago, but like when I was a youngin' and I checked Cryptomundo every day. One of the things that popped up there was a photo of it was a trail camera photo of a fucking zebra in Ohio. and nobody ever really knew where it came from. So those kangaroos that came up,
I
that
was gonna
I was
say.
just about to say that. I bet you I can tell you where they came from.
yeah, that was that was in Cassie's neighborhood.
Yeah,
They were her kangaroos.
I wish.
Nobody ever found them, did they? I don't think there was ever an update.
They haven't found them, or the owners found them and won't say that they found them because they don't
Right.
want people to know they have kangaroos hanging out.
Yeah, because you're not
But
really supposed to.
but
But
if you were Amish and you lived on an Amish farm, you could hide your kangaroos. I mean,
right, what
because
are the police
the
going to do? Raid
law's not,
your Amish
you know
farm?
what I mean? The only
Yeah.
thing Ed and Peggy Gallic would come from Channel 8 News and do an investigative research study on you or something. Like,
And you're like, I'm Amish, I'm untouchable, fuck off.
right.
Yeah, so I mean, but yeah, you were telling me all kinds of weird exotic animal stories. Had no idea that they had their hand in that, but I'm not surprised that they do either.
Oh yeah, every March we have the exotic animal sale here in Mount Hope, where they bring all the exotic animals in and you can purchase them.
Wow. I didn't even know. I
It's
thought ever
huge.
since that one guy let all his animals free, like it was very hard to purchase exotic animals.
I mean, I'm sure you can't like take a tiger home or anything, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could. If it's Amish, you don't have really laws.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they probably. I fucking the Amish Tiger King. Can you imagine? That would be some. Now, do they deal in drugs at all? Is that a thing?
That's a huge thing, I guess, which I never really thought into, but somebody put me onto something, and I looked it up, and there's like tons of these things where the Mennonites are with the Mexican cartel, and they smuggle their drugs from Mexico into the Canada Mennonite like communities, and everything that they ship in Canada, like the furniture and cheese and all the Amish goods, are tax exempt, so they don't have to pay taxes on what they're smuggling the stuff into. They get it to Canada, and then Canada brings it over to the U.S.
Wow. So do they? And where I mean, where you're at? I mean, you're pretty damn close to Canada. So it's not. I mean, it's well. I guess if you're going on horse and buggy, it might be a little further. But, um, so what do they? What kind of drugs do they deal in? Just all of them, or is there anything in particular that they're selling?
From what I read, it started off with marijuana, and it's like grown into cocaine.
Wow.
So, and I did okay. So I had all these questions for my boss today. I have two bosses. It was me and both my bosses today, and they probably both think I'm crazy now. So one, I was drilling about Amish because she's an ex-Amish. The other one, I was drilling about all these freaking drugs and zombies because he's a firefighter. So, anyways, um, my boss's sister is in Mexico right now, and I like brought it up. I was like just joking, like, "Hey, is your family into like drug smuggling?" She's like, "No, but my sister can tell you all about it. She tells me all kinds of stories when she gets back from Mexico."
Wow.
I was like, "Oh,
Mexico is another
true
place I will
story
never
then,
go
huh?"
to. Yeah, I will not go to Mexico. It's really cheap, but no thank you.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of it. And maybe that's just me being an American and being told all my life that it's horrifying.
Hmm.
But I don't care. I'll
There's a
go to
lot of
Canada.
meth around here, like Amish meth, like people that
Amish
do it.
meth.
Yeah, because I mean, if if everybody knows me, like you say, they all know my story then. So I was a drug addict. I've been
Sure.
in sober houses before, and one of the girls that I was in there with is from here, and she used to be a meth dealer, and she would supply the Amish with her meth.
Wow. So do you think they're using it as well as
Yeah.
selling it? Yeah. Oh
I
well, that
don't think
makes
they're
all
selling it.
sense.
I think they're using it.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
they
Okay.
put they put like an Amish like recovery sober addiction place in like down the road a little
It's
ways,
not
but it's in
funny,
a
but it
field,
is.
and it's just like non-tagged like little red cabins. You don't know what it is unless you know what it is. and like they do it secretly because they don't want their name tarnished and like all the tourists to come in and know like, oh wow, these are people. They have problems.
Right. How dare they be
Right.
just like us?
My father-in-law used to drink with them, and that was some of my early exposure to them too, because he would have yearly Christmas parties that were for men only. Where all and he was a farmer, and it was a small community, so all the other farmers and he truck people and whatever would all come to his barn, and he would have Christmas parties. There'd be food, there'd be booze. The police department would be there. It'd be a big community thing, and the Amish would show up. And they would sit there and they'd have a table off to themselves and they would drink, but they would bring moonshine. Um, and it was pretty strong. It was kind of like Everclear. It was always like grain alcohol with fruit in it. There was a grape one. There was one with cherries. I usually would do the White Lightning, and it was pretty good. I mean, as far as moonshine goes, but as far as making their own meth, that wouldn't surprise me. In some places, these people, I guess, and this isn't me defending them, but I think because, and that's one of the thing about the Amish community is that it's very decentralized, right? Like they don't even have churches that they go to. It's funny that they have their own rehab community centers, but they don't have actual churches that they go to. They how they kind of work, exercise their religion is that they meet at each other's houses, and that's where they practice Sunday services or whatever. So
So let me just butt in there because I know this right now because my boss told me today. So they like rotate. So there are
right.
churches, or at least here there are churches, and one Sunday they'll go to church, which is like 7 o'clock to 11:30, and then the next week is their off week, and that's when they go to church at each other's houses, and then they rotate back and forth.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead.
So
Sorry, I just had to
why
put
do
that
they
in there
have?
because I knew that.
If they're not using right, if they're not really using the churches regularly, why would they have them? Oh my gosh, maybe it's a front for their drugs and their puppy mills.
Well, it's probably a land thing. I mean, you look at Scientology. Why does Scientology have so many Scientology centers? Because it's tax-free real estate. You know what I mean?
They did. We talked about that.
Yeah, so that could be a component of it too. I think definitely if you're a religious, listen, any religious organization that has tax exempt status could be utilized to make a lot of money, very kind of off the radar. And if that's what they choose to do with it, fine, that's on them, But I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, the church we go to, I know that they hire family members for kind of no call, no show jobs. Like it's just something that happens. I don't think the Amish, and this isn't me defending the Amish by any means, but anytime you could kind of cook the books like that, people are going to do it more often than not.
Well, I think they use the actual church because if they have the actual church, each community has a church, and then when they go places with like groups and stuff, they're tax exempt from their church. Like the church is an excuse to be tax exempt.
And their houses are tax exempt too because that's where they worship.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why okay, you have this building that you can write off, you have that one building, but hey, if we have church at my house this week and your house next week and Asher's house the week after that, guess what? We can write off all of our houses. So and this is generational land. These people kind of just like dig in to places and then they just stay there forever.
Yeah, and they just build onto that for their children.
Right. And there's, and like I said, when my father passed away, he had some property and they were interested in acquiring it because they're trying to increase. And that's not necessarily because they wanted to build anything. You can only build so many fucking barns, but just to be able to flip it, I mean, it's because what else are you going to do? Because you're not going to go get a job in a factory, right? You're not teaching your kids STEM, so it's like how are you going to serve? You still need money at some point. You can only sell so many fucking cabinets or so many pit bulls or whatever. So another way that they generate income just to survive, because they do have to take the buggy to Meyer every once in a while and buy corn syrup, or whatever. Even if they're not getting microwavable dinners, they still need to buy some kind of shit. So they still have a use for money. It's just that they have to kind of go about it. The amount of revenue streams that they have open to them is not as big.
So hold on. Let me reel this back just a little bit. Who are the Amish? What do they believe in? Why are they with the way that they are?
They're Anabaptist Christians. So they're like Swiss, German, and French origins. And it dates back to... Wow. I have notes. I really do.
It goes 1693. It was like it built off the Reformation. One of the biggest things that, and this is coming from my wife too, is that they believe in adult baptism. So what I was raised Catholic, my wife is Lutheran. That right there, there's a lot of weird differences between our two things, right? But we do share enough things in common to where it's kind of interchangeable. The big thing between Amish, Mennonites, everyone else is the concept of adult baptism, which honestly kind of makes a little bit of sense. Their idea is that you can't really come into the church until you're at least 16 years old. Because what the fuck do you know about anything? What is the point of baptizing a baby? They cannot accept Christ into their life. They can't promise to follow the 10 Commandments or be a disciple or anything like that, because they're not even potty trained. It's a little baby, right? So that is one of the biggest differences between mainstream Christianity and the Anabaptists. They're also kind of every group has its own, is kind of their own autonomous unit, right? Well, it's what I brought up earlier about gay marriage and allowing LGBTQ parishioners and stuff. That is on a sect by sect basis. So when you get
every sect is called their community. So whenever they refer to their community, it's their group within their church, and they have to abide by those rules.
They're very anti-violence. They've been moral objectors to both the world wars and everything since then. Conscientious objectors, I believe, is what they call it. So they did not have to fight in World War I or II, but they worked in other aspects of service, right? So
hospitals and forestry, I think it was.
Cassie and I are looking at the same Wikipedia page.
What I tell you about that Wikipedia
page? 13 pages of notes from like all kinds of different pages.
Cassie's like, I'll go to the Amish's house and ask them directly.
No. That's why I picked the people I ask questions to. You don't know what kind of stuff's going to happen if you talk to them the wrong way.
You've done great investigative journalism. I'll say that. You had contacts and you reached out to them. So the Amish are weird, right? Because they live in kind of isolation. They're supposed to live in like isolation with their own self-sustaining community, right? That's the idea here, is that they live on their own pieces of land away from the rest of the world, and they don't use technology. I don't think they use. Do they have plumbing?
There's like 3 different like big groups like that you can like group everybody into. There's the old order, which are like the Swartzen troopers. Those people do not have indoor plumbing, not supposed to have electricity, all that, like what you think an Amish is.
Okay.
The new order Amish is what a lot of them are now, to where they can use electricity and have cars and all that. And then there's the Mennonites, which pretty much is the new order Amish. It's just they can dress in regular clothes.
Okay. Interesting.
So some of them have electricity, some of them don't. a lot of the new order Amish, um, they have generators and solar power and all that to get their electricity from, to get their power source.
Oh, okay. Well, they believe in green energy. That can't be terrible.
No, my boss actually told me, she's like, I remember when I was young, some week it was so hot in our house that we had a fan, and somebody hooked a like took the actual like car battery and hooked the battery up with the clamps to the fan so their fan would run all day.
Hey, that's innovative. That's some
Right?
MacGyver shit right there. Wait, was MacGyver a former Amish? Maybe
Probably was. He had the
that's the
hair.
backstory. Okay, all right. But they don't like a lot of religious people, clearly they don't completely adhere. I mean, we've already talked about them being puppy abusers and drug dealers and users. So they clearly don't adhere completely to the Bible, right, I guess. I mean, where in the Bible does it say that you can't use electricity? I don't understand where that comes from.
There was no electricity back then. What are you I mean, it was
Right.
And that's
So
why
why
it's nowhere in the book from their elders. So obviously, they don't use it because their elders didn't. That's pretty much what the old order goes on. Well, our forefathers didn't do this and didn't do that. And that's why this whole thing, um, like, is going to courts with them making, like, it's a law to put lights on their buggies now. And while all the Amish are taking their jail time and their fines instead of putting lights on their freaking buggies because their forefathers didn't do it.
wow.
Yeah, that's I think once again the Amish, like I said, the Amish people that my in-laws are around drive Escalades. Like
I bought my Escalade off an Amish.
Fucking Cassie's over there riding around in the Sinmobile. It's great. So, I guess I understand. So they just really respect ancestry. I guess is what gets them closer to God. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't track.
Well, there's people that even today that don't necessarily come from Amish heritage that I mean, look at the whole concept of living off the grid, right? That's that the Amish, I guess you could say they did actually kind of invent it, but that is something that you see becoming more and more desirable to some people these days, right? Um, some people want to have a more personal connection to God and nature. They don't want city life. I'm someone that grew up in the city of Chicago. I lived here my whole entire life. Myself and my parents worked for the city of Chicago. And, I think about leaving all of the fucking time. And I think about moving to not necessarily the middle of nowhere, but, somewhere like Grand Rapids or fucking Fort Wayne or somewhere that's a little bit chiller, you know what I mean, where I could have more land and less neighbors and just kind of do my thing. I can appreciate that. I think a lot of us can, right? But they take it to such an extreme where they swear off technology. It's like, look, nowadays you can live anywhere in the country and have high-speed internet and access to Amazon delivery. Okay. So you used to have to live in a big city because you wanted cool shit. Right. And unless there was a cool bookstore in town or a cool record store in town, people in the middle of nowhere couldn't buy Sex Pistols records or read comic books or whatever. There was nowhere to sell it. Right. So that was the advantage to living in a big city, is you had access to more media and more stuff. And it's not like that. It's not like that now. Now you could live anywhere and get anything. So why would you want to live on top of people and have to deal with crime and pollution and all kinds of shit? So I don't scratch my head so much as why they do what they do. It's interesting that they adopted this so early on in the Industrial Revolution, that they started doing this when really all they were rebelling against was like fucking cars and like lighting. Like that was it. Nowadays with 5G and internet porn and tablets, it actually makes a lot more sense. And that 5G thing was a joke, people. I'm not really suggesting that 5G is altering your DNA, but I don't know. I think that's the other reason why I kind of thought this would be a good episode to do, because it's an idea that was the punchline for a long time. And even though if we might not all want to go the Amish route, I think there's a lot of people that kind of romanticize this lifestyle.
Okay. Well, I mean, I suppose I can kind of see where you're coming from, but they don't romanticize it because it's gonna get them closer to God, and I guess that's the difference. They do it because they're inundated with technology, and they would like to drown out the static, right? And that's not terrible. Whereas, like this concept of why the Amish do it, they're not doing it for some type of diplomatic reason. They're doing it because they're part of a cult, and they've always been taught to do that. Obviously, again, this is just one portion of the Amish, right? Is what I'm hearing.
The old order Amish,
right? And so,
troopers.
right. So, I mean, those are just, I don't know.
So
Eventually,
that like the devil runs through the electric lines, the electricity.
Yes. Right. So
Really?
I guess it is kind of similar to your crazy prepper Uncle Steve. Because he probably thinks the same thing or whatever.
And that's why like the Swords and Troopers, they don't have license or like anything with their picture on it, because they believe like you're taking a picture and somehow the devil and spirits are within that flash or whatever.
That's so weird.
And like Brandon has the tire place, and like their tires aren't filled with air. They have to fill them with some weird slime stuff because the devil's in the tires.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Yeah.
Wait.
And it's like extremely expensive to fill those tires with that stuff.
So there's no air at all in the tires. It's all filled with, they're like heavy. I mean, they're
right,
like filled with slime. What kind of slime?
I couldn't tell you when he gets.
It's just cum. They come right into the tower.
Horse cum, Jesus.
They hired Mr. Hands at one point, and that's how he died.
That is so nuts. I had never the electric stuff I get, but not compressed air.
Yeah,
man.
That's what I'm saying. My brain can't conceptualize any of this.
So it's like you think like they're romanticizing it to a point, but like fucking air, like
right, it's air. Like it's
like you breathe it. Like is the devil? Like I don't understand myself. I'm just like what?
So here's something real quick. I just want to say there are Amish farmers that employ chemical pesticides, chemical fertilizers, and artificial insemination of cows. However, the old order Amish communities of Allen County, Indiana, that's where my wife's from, are more conservative than most. They use open buggies even during the winter, and they wear black leather shoes even in the hot summer. Restrictions are not meant to impose suffering. Disabled people are allowed to use motorized wheelchairs, and electricity is allowed in the home for medical equipment. Those who break the rules may be given a few months to resolve the problem so that they can remove electric wiring from a new house. Although most Amish will not drive cars, they will hire drivers and vans, which is what I was looking at doing, actually.
They make a lot of money.
Yeah, the Amish are permitted to travel by bus and train in order to shop, work at markets, and reach more distant destinations. Old order Amish tend to restrict telephone use. It is viewed as interfering with separation from the world. Yeah. So I think there's every community has its own rules, and then every individual family probably governs their own adherence to those rules.
Yes.
And that's kind of it. It's still crazy that they would still choose to remain even sequestered at all, but I guess it works for them. I mean, what do they look at us? They look at a family and they see four people sitting at a table at McDonald's and they're all looking at their phones, and they probably feel bad for us. I mean,
you also have to think, like, did they stay in the family because once Rumspringa came around, like, it was just the family was so abusive that they were afraid to leave?
Yeah, we didn't talk about Rumspringa at all. So that is their time for like, I don't know, being a teenager or something, where
Mhm.
they kind of in German it means in Pennsylvania German it means jumping around. It's the period of adolescence that begins the time of serious courtship. A certain amount of misbehavior is expected, but it is neither encouraged nor overlooked. At the end of this period, Amish young adults are baptized into the church and usually marry, with marriage permitted only among church members. A small percentage of young people choose not to join the church and decide to live the rest of their lives in the wider society and marry someone outside the community. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen what they're working with, and I would not marry into Amish. I would definitely.
How many you got to think how many people are in that church like over the years that stayed Amish that aren't your family?
Yeah.
Who are you marrying at this point?
But I had asked you that in the kind of pre-show stuff, and you said that you got some answers as far as like them bringing in new people.
Okay. So, let's see. Which question was that? Uh the last one. Okay. So she said like you can come into the Amish, but there's like a trial period where you have to live the life and go to church and can be accepted, but she said it takes a while, and she said she only remembers it happening once, maybe twice, when she was on Amish. It more happens in like the Mennonite community where they like more of the simple life and go to Mennonite because they don't have to be accepted by a whole group of people.
So you can become Amish.
You can, but it hardly ever happens.
Okay, because they're catty. I get it. It's a clique. You're not cool
Well,
enough
it's
for the
like
Amish.
you're not really married into it because if you're Amish and you get married, you have to marry somebody that's already Amish. So it's not like new people coming in through marriages all the time or anything.
The person comes in and they're like, "Oh, I identify as Amish," and they're like, "Oh, okay, that's fine."
Yeah. But
I mean, you could
she
just put your
was.
Amish on.
Go
You
ahead.
could just put it on your application. It's not like they can background check you.
But they probably do. I wouldn't put it past them to do that. Well, they have
Well,
somebody
how
else
many
do
like
it.
Leroy Yoders are out there? You'll get a list of like 375 in the
It's
same county.
so that's what also kicked this whole thing into high gear is that I have an in-law with the last name Yoder. And when you said that, I was like, why are you talking about Yoder? And you're like, oh, well, that's like the name that they use. And then in researching this week's topic, there was some famous court date that was like Wisconsin versus Yoder.
Hmm.
So that was that was the court case that forced them to send their kids to school.
Oh, for the
Wisconsin,
till 8th grade.
yeah, Wisconsin versus Yoder. So that was a very, very astute observation, Cassie. I have to applaud you for that. Yoder is really a very prevalent name in that community.
Yeah, and if you started driving them around, you'd have a Yoder toter.
Yoder toters. Okay, so Cassie, why do you hate the Amish? You hate them, right?
Okay, well now I have to clarify because I don't hate all Amish. I hate the old order Trooper Amish.
Okay.
And I work at a restaurant. I'm a waitress in Amish country. Amish come in all the time. They're the majority of my customers when it is not tourist season. And the Trooper Amish do not tip. If you're a woman, you are there to serve them and clean up after them. And that is how they think. And I hate them for that.
I hate them now too. Say no more.
And then they come into a restaurant filled with people and they only shower once a week in dirty bathwater and it smells disgusting. And I don't know how people eat with them in there because I won't even walk out of the kitchen if they're in there and if I don't have to because it smells that bad.
Yeah, they look. Every time I've seen them, they look like I remember them showing up to the wake, and
Mhm.
they didn't look. They looked like they had rolled around in the dirt before they showed up. And it's like,
No.
dude, you couldn't like take a wet rag and wipe it over your fucking face before you walked in here.
Well, the Troopers don't have, they're not allowed to have the indoor plumbing. So if there's 12 people in the family, on Saturdays, they fill a bath with water that's heated from the stove, and the last kid gets the dirty piss water that's left.
Yep.
Imagine being the last kid and hurrying up to have children just so you're not the last kid anymore.
And it goes by favorites. Like if you're the favorite, you go first. So you know if you're not the favorite in the family.
That's fucked up. What's the suicide rate like for the Amish? Does anybody know?
Oh, they're too dumb to do that.
Fair enough. I don't know. I mean,
They're not
TLC
allowed
did
to
that
have
show.
weapons, so I mean,
Well, that's true. It's fair enough. Well, they could get fucked to death by a horse. I mean, that's a way to go.
they probably have. You just don't hear about it.
You just don't hear about it.
They
Well,
kept it within the family, and they
just
wanted
like
to
everything
do
else
horse.
about them. Yeah. God. But no, TLC did the show about the bringing the Amish people being allowed to leave and explore. I mean, is that actually a thing? I know TLC doesn't have a good track record for being
Well,
accurate.
Jeremiah is from here. He's from Holmes County, and he was already out of the Amish like 2 or 3 years before they came to him with the show. So he put all the Amish garb on and went back to the family just to make the show. Therefore, the family let a whole camera crew onto their property to video them. So, I mean, I guess it goes back to Pat saying they have to make money somehow.
Right.
Like
they're gonna get theirs. Yeah. So I don't know much about it. I mean, but is that a thing? Is it like? I mean, do they have like a coming of age moment where they get to go out into the world and then decide if they want to stay?
Yeah.
That's Rum Spring, Rum Sprata or whatever, Rum Chata.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rum chata. Okay. And what's the what's the statistics on that? Are they like how many people like come back compared to how many people?
I think that's probably why they play so fast and loose with what they allow in their community, because they realize the stricter they are, the temptations of the outside world are too great these days. So if they really want to protect their children, they should allow some leeway, because then the likelihood of them coming back and staying within the Amish community is greater than if they have these hardline, no technology, no internet, no porn stance. Then they're just going to lose all their kids. The kids are going to turn 16. They're going to put on they're going to look at YouTube for the first time and be like, I'm out of here. Right.
Okay.
Whereas if they can kind of toe dip integrate it, then maybe the kids will come back and they can be like, hey, yeah, there's this big outside world here, but we kind of found a way to fuck the system and we don't got to pay taxes. And there's got to be some incentive to retain. I think you have the lunatics, like you have the Dwight Schrutes, that like, because that was always kind of one of the jokes on The Office, is that he was like a Mennonite or something, right? I mean, obviously he worked in an office, but when they go to, when he goes to like the beet farm and Moses is running around and shit, like that was kind of like, I don't know where I was going with this.
Me neither.
Yeah, whatever.
But you can choose not to do Rumspringa, and you can choose to leave the Amish whenever you want. There's not like a set date you have to choose this by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my boss, she didn't go through with Rumspringa, but she ended up leaving the Amish anyways.
So when she left, I mean, was it? Is it like escaping is it like escaping a cold? Is it like escaping an abusive relationship? I guess I probably should have had you ask those questions, but
okay. So she said, because Pat asked, what did you enjoy about it, and do you ever regret leaving? And she said it's not all bad. Like when you're a kid, everything's good because that's what you know. Like that's how you grew up. You don't think there's anything else like going on. Like that's your family. So she said it wasn't all bad. I mean, you did work and you went to school, and then you hung out with your family, and then extended family, and you could have friends that weren't Amish. It's just you couldn't date outside of your community. And I asked her, what made you leave? And she said, the horse and buggies. I didn't want to drive them. She said, you pull on one rein, it goes the other way, and then I'm going to fucking hit somebody. She said, I wanted to go fast, Ricky Bobby, in my own vehicle.
that's awesome.
She said she was allowed, like, they go to their aunts and uncles because her dad's brothers and sisters weren't Amish, so they were allowed to watch movies there. And they had a generator connected to the house. And now her parents have solar power. It's still like extremely hot inside. So, I mean, she said it's not as bad as what you think because you're not as isolated as what movies tell you Amish are, or like TV series
Right.
tell you Amish are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right, and like obviously, like they can still like she left, so but she can still go see her family. Like it's not like you can't come back ever.
Her last name is the same as like the man she married's last name. I was like, did you even have to go to court to change that? Like, or you guys just say I do and you're married, you have the same last name already? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's just the thing. I don't know. Yeah, I mean it's interesting. It is pretty interesting. I'd like to go visit an Amish at their house.
I mean,
Can
you
we
can come over. I'll send you over to somebody. We actually got some neighbors down the street. I mean,
go down that road right there? They're down there. You'll find them.
I think
I'm gonna
they
show up
might
with
be
my tits hanging out. It'll
they
be
might be
great.
scared of your hair. They'll think that it's like you're
the
like a
devil's
daughter
in
of
her hair.
a daughter of Lilith or something. Like, oh
Go bang me a couple Amish boys.
my God. Oh,
Corrupt their entire community.
I bet they got huge bushes. Huge bushes.
They're not allowed to shave their body hair, so they probably do.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I show up on a Thursday and they didn't have bath time since Saturday. So and they're uncircumcised though. That's good.
Oh, you
Love it.
I do. My favorite.
This is like your heaven.
Right. Maybe
dude, all those smegma fucking dipped anteaters, you'd be getting out of petri dish. Like, let me take some of this shit home. I'm bringing a fucking doggy bag for all the dick jam that you're gonna. Oh my God, you should go harvesting. Like that should be like when you like.
I don't
the time of the year when Asher's goes out in the field with her little picnic basket full of petri dishes, and she goes knocking on the Amish boys' doors to collect their fucking dick jam.
She'll be waiting at the church just to see when Rumspringa starts, so she knows who she can get her hands on.
Just picking them out beforehand. Yeah, exactly. Well, right. Then they can be washed. That's fine. At least then they're clean. That's.
Asher's makes them shower after sex, not before.
Some people love that extra stank. I mean, come on now. That's gross. You guys are gross.
No, you're gross. That's the fucking through line here.
Giving me bad ideas. Fuck. I mean, can you do that? Can you just show up at Amish people's houses and be like, I want to see how you live? Is that
I'm
thing?
sure you can.
I think they have like farmers markets and stuff. I remember seeing like signs like when they're selling their shit, like their carpentry stuff, their cabinets, right?
Oh yeah, they
we
have a farmers market here every.
That's
weekend.
not the same thing as going to their house and be like, what do you do?
Well, where do you? I mean, it's kind of like.
Well, we have buggy rides here. You can take a buggy ride with an Amish who drives you around the town, and you can ask him all the questions you want.
Will they talk to you?
Oh yeah. Or because they're not the old order, they're the new order Amish, so they'll talk to you. But or you can just come into East of Chicago Pizza and find an Amish and yell across the freaking restaurant stupid questions. Like, what do you do without electricity while he's on his cell phone? Well, we live our lives.
What do you do with all your smegma? Maybe.
Smegma.
I might come hang out at the pizza place and assault the Amish people.
My boss will take you to her house, like her family's house, and you can talk to them.
Hang out with the Amish, but like you guys.
Yeah. They're new order, so you're not going to get the stank like the old order, but
well, right, exactly. So the new orders aren't
introduction.
Do you think they're circumcised? The new order?
I don't know. I should ask. Let me text her.
Do they
Oh my God!
Get off this.
That's what matters, you know.
Let me text my Amish boss on her cell phone.
I just want to show up at an Amish community and just completely fuck their world up, and then they write about me for years to come.
The day that hell
Yeah.
came to fucking
Yeah.
Dutchtown.
Dutchtown. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like whatever that may be. You know, I want stories of me impregnating their women, me then eating those children that I made, just all kinds of heinous shit.
Cutting off beards and
yeah, oh yeah,
getting
cutting
whole
all the
families
beards off.
shunned.
Yeah, cutting all the beards
Grinding
off,
off
and
grinding off
also,
pubic hair.
well, let's say, and also shaving the pubic hair and replacing those cut off beards with the pubes. just cause. That's my dream, you guys. I have a new dream now. I have a new
Rose,
goal.
she said they are circumcised.
Oh well, fuck that. This whole dream is just thrown out the window before it even had a chance to take off. Fuck that shit. Fuck the Amish. That was the whole point of me going there. Ruined. Some bullshit, man. I swear. I'll shut up now. Pato, Cassie, you guys have anything else to say about the Amish? Are you fulfilled, Pato?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good. It's Cassie. You got anything else? She's obviously more prepared for this than I am.
Well,
So,
just if you're Amish and you're listening to this, please tip your waitresses because they have kids too and don't have to clean up after you.
Yes.
if you're not Amish, you know, Ashes likes to like make these like declarations where if you don't listen to our show, if you feel this way, or if you're this kind of person, unfriend me on Facebook. Listen, I don't like to do that because I don't like to make threats, but I will say this: if you do not tip your servers, get the fucking just I don't know. Don't listen to this show. Throw yourself in the river.
But hold on now. Wait,
You know?
hold on. No, let me stop you because some people listen to the show aren't from America, and they don't have to tip their servers because
When you're in America,
There you
tip
go.
your servers.
There you go.
And you know what? When you're overseas, tip those people too, because a server is a server is a server. And trust me, what's the worst thing that happens? Oh, they made too much money today? No. That's
Right.
not a problem. That's not a real problem.
No.
Always tip your wait staff, and always over tip them because you're not just tipping them because of your service. You're over tipping them because rest assured, there's at least one table that day that didn't tip them because they're fucking hillbilly pieces of shit. So always go above and beyond to compensate for the people that didn't do what they were supposed to do in the first place.
Let me tell you this about like when they come into restaurants with their families, the Amish kids are the cleanest freaking kids you will ever meet, and the Amish men, like it's like they don't even hit their mouth when they put food in it. Like it's everywhere except for in their mouth.
What?
Yeah.
They just don't know how to eat.
Well, it's like I think they're so strict at home that the kids are afraid to like leave a mess.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's good. Sometimes you see the exact opposite. I've known many a school teacher in my day, and they'll talk about people from certain communities where they know that there's a very rigid hierarchy at home, especially along gender lines, and that sometimes they'll have little girls that when they come to school, it's the first time that they're not being dominated by male authority figures, and the little girls will just go off the fucking chain, and they'll be the biggest, craziest fucking hellions that you can imagine. And it's because every other point in their life, what they have to do is being dictated and controlled by a male authority figure. And then they walk into fourth grade and they have this 26-year-old woman being like, okay, get out your crayons. And they're just like, fuck you, you know, and turn into fucking psychopaths. So it's interesting that in this, I'm sure those kids are fucking controlled very strictly at home. It's interesting to see that like it carries over in this situation where they're out in public and they still maintain that control over their children.
I can say the same thing that you just said with the adult women because they have to abide by everything their husband says at home and say, yes, thank you, please, you're welcome, blah, blah, blah. And then when they come in and I'm a woman and they're with their girlfriends, they're the rudest, snottiest people you'll ever meet.
Oh yeah, I bet they're hoes too outside of.
For sure. I used to work at Route 21 and you would see them like get out of their Yoder toter and take their Amish clothes off and come in the skankiest shit you could ever see.
I know. I bet they give me a run for my money. Those hoes, those Amish hoes.
How? But were they like kind of out of step? Like they can't. Like they must have looked like what was cool 15 years ago or something, right? Or were they pretty much on the times?
Well, okay, so a lot of them do buy their clothes at Rue 21. So it's whatever they have. Because out here, I mean, we have Walmart, and then if you go into Worcester, there's like Kohl's, another Walmart, and Rue 21.
So I'm a boy. What's Rue 21?
Very cheap, like
Yes.
in style clothing, they say, but
Like TJ Maxx?
No, TJ Maxx is for
No.
old people.
kind of like graphic tees, and
Okay.
it's just like this month, since it's June, they will have an overload of rainbow pride wear
Yeah.
right now.
Is
It's
this-
for like ages
whatever's
17 to
yeah.
24.
Is it unisex or girls only?
Unisex.
Okay.
So if you go to our thrift stores here, you will see a lot of Rue 21 clothes.
And it probably costs more to buy at the thrift store than it does at actually buying at Rue 21.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I love it when they still have the tags on it and it has a clearance tag for $1 and this thrift store is like $3.
Right.
You know, I've noticed that too. When I was growing up and we were like punk rock kids, like the coolest thing to do was to go to the thrift store and try to find like old school ironic t-shirts, right?
Mhm.
Like I remember I had a CTA, Chicago Transit Authority, like serviceman shirt. It had like the patch on the side. It was like a blue button down. And I would wear that, or like, you know, you would find old Dare t-shirts and wear them because it says Dare on it, right? But I'm fucking stoned right now. Or like people would wear, you know, Johnson Family Reunion barbecue t-shirts, or you know, just random shit that we thought was like kitschy or funny.
Right.
And you would buy these shirts for 35 cents. And now, if I ever step foot in a thrift store, everything's like $15 for a t-shirt. Like, how the fuck? What was the whole? Did like the thrift stores catch on? Like, do they understand now that like kids used to do this shit for like fun, and now they're like, well, we're going to charge the shit out of you, you know? Like, I thought this was where I
They
could
caught
get
on
like,
because of all the online reselling.
yeah, that's bullshit.
Well, so right. So I used to go for a long time. I mean, I was getting my picture frames from the thrift store because they're cheaper, right? I mean, that's why. And like lately now when I go, it's like I'll find a really nice frame and I'm like, oh great. And it's like $10. And I'm like, I'm not fucking I came here because this used to be $3. Like what the fuck? That has like really boomed in like like since like pre-pandemic, I guess.
Oh yeah,
It's like
it's
really when that's happened. So yeah, I still find some stuff, but yeah, it's not as good as
see the
as it
ones
used
we
to
have
be.
here are excellent because they haven't jacked up the prices yet. So
Hopefully they keep it that way.
yeah, and
Don't
I
tell
think,
them.
well, I think they won't because they're like Amish thrift stores. So like the Amish like volunteer work there, and the Amish price the stuff. So I think they're pretty set in their prices right now. And I mean jeans, I've never had a pair of jeans over $4.
Wow.
And then they
Yeah,
have colors, so they have 50% off colors and 75% off colors.
yes. Yeah, ours do that. And I mean, we've got, if you don't find one at the one place, you just go to the next. I mean, there's like 10 thrift stores you can go
Right.
to, and so like I said, you can still find stuff,
Mhm.
but I don't feel like it's as good as it could be. We have a Goodwill outlet store
Oh, with the bends and stuff.
with the bins, yes. And let me just tell you guys, for people that don't know, these places are fucking nuts. So you purchase everything by weight, right? So it doesn't matter what the fuck it is. It just matters how much of it you have. And you can find some really cool shit, but the problem is that everybody now has caught on to the fact that you can find some really cool shit, and people will fucking murder you over a Prada bag at the fucking Goodwill
And if
outlet
you
store.
have one shoe and somebody else has the other, you are fighting to the death. Whoever takes on
Right.
their shoe.
It's a whole fucking event. Like it's not just, oh, let me go dig through these. It's first of all, it's kind of dirty. Not kind of dirty. Like it is fucking dirty. There's
Oh
broken
yeah.
glass all over in these
Needles,
bins.
bed
Yeah,
bugs, all
yeah,
kinds of shit. Like you have to wear gloves to go through those
yeah.
bins.
They're fucking disgusting. And like like they will like take out the bins as they dwindle and they'll bring out new bins. And the bins, like when that happens, it is a fucking madhouse. You've never seen a Black Friday as crazy as when the fucking Goodwill bins roll out.
It's like
Telling you.
jail at chow time because like when they take the bins out, they make everybody line up against the wall.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to go like in the middle. So when they bring all the bins out and all the workers are clear, it's pretty much like they're like, okay, go, and everybody goes in the middle to try to get whatever. It's crazy.
It's insane. Yeah. It's not enjoyable. Unless you find something and then it is.
But
It's
every
okay.
outlet like charges different for the pound. So you can go one that's like $1.47, but then the next one you go to is like $5.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't really. Well, we just have the one here, so I guess I've only ever
Well,
been to
there's
the
not a
one.
lot of them. So
Mhm.
like, but I'm saying like here, I think it was like last time I went was $2.43, the one in Canton, a pound.
Gotcha. I haven't been and like since pre-COVID. Once COVID hit, I was like, oh, that's one of the first places to go. I was like, fuck that place. But I'm just getting too old to fight people over shoes and bags or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
when
not
I
fighting
go
anybody over anything. I don't even
over nothing, right? Like, listen, I'm not that broke. Like, I'll just go buy it like full price. It's fine.
right.
I'm not trying to get shivved at the fucking Goodwill bins.
And if it's like name brand designer stuff, it's usually ugly anyways. Like take it.
Yeah, I don't thrift for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't really. I mean, I've found some things and I've flipped it,
Mhm.
But I used to go because I'm a retro video game collector. Like that's my hobby. And so I used to go for the video game stuff. Well, you can't even do that anymore. Everybody's caught on now. Video games are expensive again. But I used to go find that kind of stuff. And so I was looking for that. So nobody else was like looking for that kind of stuff.
Right.
And it was nice because I remember one time I went to the Benz and I got a whole fucking PS3 for like $2. It was
Heck yeah.
crazy. I was like,
I
this
go
is
for
awesome.
Eric and Carrie. I go find Eric a ton of artwork because it's all cheap here.
Yes. That is a
And
wonderful
it all
idea.
comes out of like Amish houses, so it's all nature scenes, so it's like perfect for him.
Yes, I have something that I found and I want Eric to do something with it. So it's already almost perfect. So it's a it's a leprechaun sitting on a stump playing a flute and there's a unicorn. And I don't know what he can do with it, but I want him to do something with it. And I found it at a thrift store.
Oh, he'll do something crazy with that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So I told him he was so pumped when I told him about it. I was like, yes, I swear to God, I'm gonna bring it to you. I always forget it every fucking time. But I'm gonna go visit them soon and just to hang out. Eric and Carrie are amazing
Yeah.
people. But I told him I was like, we only ever see each other when we work. I'm coming up there and staying. They're like, yeah, come on, we'll go play cryptid mini golf.
Yeah, they took us to this hot dog place. It was awesome when I went up there to get my tattoo.
Yeah, they're great people.
Mhm.
That's what I want for my birthday. I want an Eric tattoo. It's decided.
That's what I did for my birthday last year. Do it.
That's what I want. I've been thinking about it. I've decided.
Now I got a giant Mothman with abs on my thigh.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Anyway, and so Cassie, you don't hate the Amish. You just hate the old order Amish.
Yeah, I guess it's pick and
Okay.
choose because when I get mad, I say, hate the fucking Amish. But really, it's just that one asshole. But I mean, it's a lot in the same group. It's a lot of assholes in one group. So,
They're like a fucking mind form. They're just one.
yeah.
Oh, that's
When
great.
I'm
So
driving and like tourists are in front of me, but then they have to pass a buggy, but they won't pass a buggy, that pisses me off. Like,
so it's just everyday nuances, but Amish.
yeah. Yeah. Like you'd never thought you'd actually cuss out a horse so many times in your life where you're like, Jesus Christ. I'm
Fucking
cussing at
horses.
animals now. It's a daily routine. Not even my animal.
You
Like
can start cussing them out and say that it's vengeance from Mr. Hands.
I will. I'll just yell out the window next time.
This is
This
for
is for
Mr.
Mr.
Hands.
Hands.
The Amish is like,
Right
what's
through
Mr.
a puddle
Hands?
and slap them all with water. This
They
is
go
for
home
Mr.
and Google it.
Hands. Yeah.
I hope they do.
How do you spell that.
Oh my gosh. Well, so but you made a you made an Amish inspired art piece, right?
Yeah.
Well, tell
Yeah.
people about it. What'd you make?
So I made Amish Squatch, which I have one male Amish Squatch. It's a little Sasquatch in his top hat and his suspenders and his like handmade Amish clothes. Well, I have that in a print and I have that in a sticker. And my awesome little dude, like the littlest Bigfoot hunter, Caden, he modeled
Yeah.
for me. So
That's awesome.
he was super excited for that. I sent him a bunch of stickers and prints so he can put in his swag bags that he leaves around town.
Oh.
And so I did that. I have a female Bigfoot Amish softball player
Oh.
because that's their sport, you know. They love the softball. And I just did another one. I haven't even put it on Instagram yet. And then Brandon wants me to do like a Amish Bigfoot family and
Yeah.
with a buggy because he wants it to be like he wants me to get it really good and do it so the next event he can put the Bigfoot suit on and dress up in the Amish clothes and sit at the booth and be Amish Squatch.
Oh my god, that would be fantastic. So on the buggy, what you should do also is have slime oozing out of the wheels.
I should. That's a good idea.
Just a little detail that, you know.
But
I
like
think
they're like okay, have you seen like buggy wheels?
I mean, I guess I've never stared at them.
Well,
No,
they're
but
pretty much like a steel or metal and like wooden. The wheels
oh, I
like
see.
this is like the tractor wheels, like their farm equipment wheels
Gotcha.
that would usually have air in it. Like it has the slime stuff in it.
Oh, I'm a little disappointed now, but I understand. I want to see the Amish Bigfoot family, the Amish Squatch family. I
Oh,
think
it'll be a
that'll be,
thing.
I think that'll be
But we
great.
started it because like everybody comes here to profit off the Amish because you know their meat, their furniture, like
Right.
so this is the bad part. So if their community doesn't produce enough livestock to get the chicken, beef, and pork, they do go to Sam's Club and buy all their beef and like chicken and label it Amish and double the price and sell it to tourists here. Like their built on site furniture comes from China.
Wow.
So like we dislike this community so much with their morals and how they make money just like lying to people that
Yeah.
we figured we were going to make Amish Squatch and profit off of them.
Oh, so it's a stance that you're taking
Yeah,
against the Amish.
it's a resentment that I'm slowly fulfilling.
It's a
So,
movement.
right.
I think that's beautiful. So, I mean, all the more reason to, hit up Cassie and purchase some of these pieces because by giving your money to Cassie, you are directly speaking out against the Amish and the terrible ways that they make profit off of people because they do. And like I said, that is how I got into kind of learning about the Amish was how bad they were about exactly things like that. They're just not very honest. What about? Let me ask real quick. Before we let you go, what's the deal with Der Dutchman?
What about it?
The
It's a
restaurant
restaurant.
is it really owned by actual Amish people?
Oh yeah, they got Der Dutchman. We have Farmstead. We have Mrs. Yoder's. They're all Amish buffets, but then they have menus too.
It's an Amish, but it's so weird. It's such a weird.
Boyd and
I don't
Wolfman's
know.
this like little one that has like 10 tables in it that has a line going down the street every day because people are stupid.
It is really ridiculous, like how popular it
There are
is.
white people in the kitchen cooking this food.
Right, smoking a joint out in the back.
Right. Last
Just
time
like
I had a Latino lady serve me. Like, what? You're stupid.
it's not even like it's just like the plainest fucking food that you can imagine.
It is.
I mean, it's just go to Cracker Barrel. It's better.
Just
I mean,
think Thanksgiving dinner every day.
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's just the plainest most white people food.
If you come here to walk around and like look at all the stores and stuff and have a day planned, do not start it off with an Amish buffet because you will not go anywhere but your hotel room and fall asleep.
Go to bed. Yeah, it's weird to me how much people idolize it. So while I was away at Monster Fest, my family went to Der Dutchman, and it was like a whole event. And it's like my sister, she's like really big into the Amish. Like all the furniture that they buy is from the Amish, all of it. And they're
Well,
like, oh,
that's very overpriced.
we're gonna right, very overpriced for something that you can fucking get at IKEA for way
Right.
cheaper. And it's, I mean, so yeah, they love the Amish people. They love going to Amish country. They get all the Amish. Oh, I got to the Amish country, and it's like, why do you like them so much? I don't. It's just frustrating to me. I don't know. It's weird how much, and you have people like that specifically in places like Ohio, probably Indiana, states with Amish people. Like you have these weird people that aren't. They're not Amish, but they're like obsessed with them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I don't.
I have a
And
lady
maybe
that comes like once or twice a week just to come to like get away from her life and like look at all the animals at the Amish petting zoos and stuff.
just loves it.
Like, why
Well,
do you
right.
keep giving them your money?
Yeah, stop. Go to actually just go to a real farm. Like,
Come to my house. You can ride the freaking goat. I don't care.
right.
You have a goat?
Oh yeah, I got 2 of the little pygmy goats and then 3 sheep and 2 hogs right now.
What do you get from the goat?
The goat, absolutely nothing right now but headbutts to my legs. So they're supposed to like weed eat, and then we bought we bought a girl and a boy, like 100% authentic like pygmy goats, and we're gonna breed them to like it's not going to be a puppy mill or anything because we're going to take care of them, but like sell like all the babies that they have while weed eat our yard. But the girl is too little still, so we have to keep them separate, and that gives us time to put the fence up so they can go like roam around everywhere. The
So,
sheep
what
and
did
the
you think
hogs are
about
4-H animals for the kids.
what did you think about my comment last week about goats being cats, basically?
I mean, they are pretty much.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
I appreciate them so much for it. I mean, they're assholes, but like that's their charm.
Yeah, the only like, and you're right because they think they're like the highest, almightiest thing, and they can just take down whatever. They don't give a shit.
They
Like this
don't.
goat, like headbutts the wheelbarrow and gets into full-on fights with this like stagnant object. Like,
And you're like, what are you doing? And it's like, I'm a god.
but
Don't
then
talk
if you
to
like
me.
make eye contact with it, it starts doing it to you.
Yeah.
And male goats, oh my gosh, if you ever get a goat, get a female goat because male goats have those long beards and they piss all over them and you can't get the piss out because even if you give it a bath, it pisses on itself again right afterwards.
See, I have cats. When I clean the litter box, as soon as I do, so they're in there pissing and shitting right in it
Yep.
immediately. And it's like, what? Why? It's a dominance thing.
Yep.
That's what it is. Okay. Well, Pato, anything else you can think of?
No.
No? You're good?
Sorry. Yeah,
Um,
I'm good.
Cassie, where can everybody find you and all the things that you do?
Pretty much just on Instagram under Cassie's Land. Have an Etsy. That's not going because I can't figure out the internet for the life of me. I need my kids to do everything for me. So, like, Instagram, if you're interested in Amish Squatch, just get a hold of me. I'll get your address, send you one out. It's a
And then,
movement that we're trying to start.
do you have any upcoming events that you're going to be at?
The next one that I'm doing is Cryptid Bash. Cryptid Bash
Awesome.
3.
Awesome. So you can find Cassie at Cryptid Bash. You can find her on Instagram. Definitely go give her a follow. Go check out her art. Just at minimum, if you're a poor folk and you can't afford to buy it, just go look at it. It's always entertaining.
Go look at it, and eventually you'll start robbing stores or selling meth to be able to afford it because
Yeah,
it's that good.
it's
So
that good. Yeah,
it's
I
that
agree.
good.
Please
So.
don't sell meth. I'm an ex-drug addict, and I would just give you the freaking thing.
That's true. Fair enough.
we don't need more acts in the world just to afford the skateboard. I'll just give her the skateboard.
Fair. Cassie's obviously a better person than we are.
Right.
Clearly. Well, thank you for coming on, and
Thank you guys.
super exciting. I'm sure we could find something else to talk about in the future. It'll come up at some point. Maybe we'll have more escaped kangaroos or something. We'll figure it out.
Right. I'm sure I'll have another resentment soon. So
Yeah, we'll let you come on and unpack that resentment. Always welcome here.
it was like
But
therapy without the ketamine. It was pretty good.
exactly,
Talk through my
exactly.
emotional problems.
God, if only people paid us as much as they're paying for that ketamine treatment. Fuck. It's okay. But yeah. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. I will see you guys back here next Wednesday.